Hey everybody, how's it going? I am Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and we are here with session 23 of Everlast. It's crazy, but we're missing 2 players tonight, which 3 players. We do actually have a new player coming in to pick up Thordane after a year, almost, well, I guess, a little less than a year of Dane playing Thordane. So hopefully that individual, Ikari, in the chat will be able to join us for future sessions here. Dane is unfortunately at a teaching conference, and Cole is also at a training for work-related stuff. And so we are joined here with both Azil and Belbin, Cole and or Max and Connor. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves super fast, your characters, and then we'll go ahead and jump right in.
Max, I play the lovely Zil. There he is. Also now known as the Teapot of Madness from I forget where he got it already, but I think someone gave that as his wrestling name.
Teapot of Madness.
The Teapot of Madness, and now has decided he needs to find a teapot for Waffle to live in because it'll just all come together.
Oh, that's one thing. He could be, and his new name will be Poltegeist.
Oh no. Yeah, but he, kind of is a softie, but also is softie and overprotective. He's also way too buff for his actual size, and wants to, be the best blacksmith in the world and hit things with his axe.
Absolutely. I like it. And he is slowly making his way to do so. Now he can craft Draken Forge weapons, so that's cool.
Now he just needs a forge.
That's true. Getting the opportunity to do that is kind of few and far in between. But then we also have Luxalia, who is the resident healer of the group. She is a Golivan from the Silverwood, and she is a shrine maiden of Amaterasu, way down in the southeast of Everlast. And so she's joined the party. Unfortunately, Cole is not going to be joined, and so joining us, and so Luxalia will be taking a backseat today. But that brings us to Belbin.
Yes, hi guys. Really quick, Belbin is a Glyven. He is mischievous. He probably has a bit of an anger management problem, in all honesty. But he seems to always have a beef with someone in the party. Right now, he's actually been behaving pretty well, but I feel like now that Dane's gone, there's like no adult supervision, so we'll have to see what happens.
Oh man.
Adult supervision, even though you're much older than Dane's character. It's nice. No, that's true.
Hopefully it's not too much of a problem.
That's okay. I think it's all right. If you lean in forward like this, your head blocks it, so it's all good. And now you have this angelic glow to you. It's really nice. It's like a saint icon. It's nice. And then we have Thordane. So Thordane is the captain of the Flortensia, but he is a wood elf from the Woodland Realm, and he is basically the party tracker, ranger, hunter of the group. And he's basically been put in charge to command Alomnia's Breath, their ship. He actually won the wrestling competition, so that's something. Very, very dexterous indeed. But normally he is played by Dane, and he will be being played by Ikari in the future. But not here today, and this might be the last time that Thordane doesn't have somebody. So, hey, that's exciting. And then finally we have Yuki. She is a silver draken from Fulmonglith, basically a icy city way up to the north in Everlast. And she is a bard blade dancer. And so she is a physical DPS of the group, and she uses swords to basically cut things down. And she's also got wings, so she can fly around and do fun stuff like that too. So she does a lot of damage. But again, I think this is actually the very first session that Dane has missed, and so she will also be taking a backseat in today's adventure. So, and then I am Kyle. I am the Fate Weaver, Dungeon Master, or whatever you want to call me. I'm here. I am the creator of Everlast, and just here to guide this party on their adventures through Everlast. But before we do begin, again, just copyright shenanigans. So, all rights and text, images, videos, audio, graphics, story, gameplay mechanics, and all the intellectual properties involved in the creation of Everlast belong to Fantasy Forge Studios and Kyle LaFonte. Don't use it, take it, and sell it for yourself, but feel free to use it for your own homebrew stuff and world building. So, With that set aside, let's go ahead and jump right into our recap of the very epic events that happened last session 2 weeks ago. Very, very crazy. But and this is actually a good recap with Max being gone last session. But Eclaas has set off on the high seas to hunt down basically the holders of the water key and the holder of the lightning key, as they are the holders of the earth key, to gather everybody to go talk to with now Gorik Kragheim, the owner of the flame key, to figure out what's going on specifically with Ishan Volcano and the waning powers of the elemental crystals, specifically the flame crystal. And so they have set off on an epic adventure traveling the high seas in order to go track these people down in order to bring counsel. But upon their adventures on their ships, not only did they have to go hire a crew, which they did, but they ran into a horrible monster from the deep. A creature by the name of Azaledoom, who is the terror of the seas, a creature that actually Gunter and the Flortensia have been trying to hunt down and rid basically the seas of Everlast for. But unfortunately, Azaledoom found Lamnia's Breath, which is the ship that Eeas does travel aboard. And so in a last session, in an epic chase, they were able to finally make their way to refuge, which was a small island that was off in the distance. And as night began to break, Azaledoom crashed and chased after them, inflicting lots of damage to the ship, and even more damage to the crew, escaping nearly unscathed. Azaledoom made one last ditch effort and crashed against the ship as he pushed the ship into this giant cavern thing that he couldn't fit in, that is on the side of this island. And what ended up happening with that is it ended up damaging much of the ship and the crew, leaving them marooned in this cave for the time being until the ship is able to be repaired and they're able to figure out what's going on with the rest of the survivors, and try to figure out who is the rest of the survivors. And in the meantime, they've been resting and trying to gather their thoughts and everything. And what they have discovered, Eclaas and the remaining crew, is most of the crew members had died, including all of the passengers that they were transporting all the way up to I think Folden Rock was where they were supposed to drop them off.
Is Waffle okay?
Waffle is okay. Fortunately, snug deep inside your armor, and so totally okay. He did not drown in the madness, but
we didn't roll for him though.
That's true. Do you want to give HP to one hit point to Waffle and start tracking that?
No, that'll just stress me out.
No. He literally has plot armor in the form of Zill's armor. So if Zill dies, Waffle dies. their life force
souls are tied.
But basically the group of Eclaas have made their way trying to salvage whatever they can from their ship and discover who had died. Unfortunately, with all of the deaths, Luxalia and I believe, what was her name? The high elf that... Lyra, have begun their healing of the survivors and trying to resuscitate the ones who seem to have met a very watery fate. Yuki, in the meantime, is doing what she can to be able to help make any repairs that the ship needs with, what was his name?
Wait.
Tolly.
Oh, yeah.
Tolly. And they've recruited a fair number of people, to which they discovered that the only ones that have actually remained are Riona, Tolly, Remy, Balthazar, Finn, Sariel, Lyra, Barnacle Bill, and Bree. So those are the only crew members outside of Eclaas that did survive. And outside of trying to figure out who ended up basically surviving. The rest of them have started very slowly and very basically downcast, attempting to repair the ship under the leadership of Tolly, who is the ship's engineer. And so while they're doing that, you guys are in this cave, and you have spent a decent amount of time to be able to rest. So I'm going to allow each one of you to be able to rest, which we did right before the session, recovering some HP before you go and search and discover the cave. While the two of you, Zill and Belbin, are out kind of investigating, you notice that this cave itself is very man-made. This is not something that seems to have been natural. It was carved out of the rock for some specific purpose. And if anything, you look at this area where your ship is marooned, and it almost looks like a small boat dock. The path, like the rock that you guys are standing on, is very, very flat. And it rises up a little bit, almost in kind of a stair-like fashion towards the back of the cavern. But upon first glance, you are unable to truly see what's going on. And so you guys have taken some rest and you've started investigating. And at this point, Luxalia has begun gathering the bodies and preparing ritual funeral rites for all of those bodies.
Are we leaving those bodies fully stocked with their own things?
What are you saying, Belbin? Luxalia, she kind of gives you like a side eye.
Well, they don't need anything that's on them anymore.
Respect the dead! Goodness gracious! So what, like, specifically, Belbin, these people are dead. What do you want to take off of them if there is anything to take?
Just like rummage through their pockets.
Okay. On the one hand, they need a funeral. Gotta respect them. On the other hand, everyone knows rules of the street. You don't need your stuff no more.
Also, funerals are super expensive. Everyone knows that.
We can give them a nice rock pile. A lot of rocks here.
So, if you guys wish to do so, you can remove basically all of the articles from them and put them in a pile to be able to sort through at a later time. How does that sound? You can have Yuki be in charge of that.
Fantastic.
Zill's joining this.
That's right. Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, perfect. And so you do, and you spend some time going through all of the pockets and all of the belongings of everybody. You can tell a lot of the crew, they jumped on with not a lot with them, outside of basically kind of like the belt daggers that they have and just the normal things that they need to from day to day. Sailors don't travel with that much as they are always on the go. But you do notice that the amount of passengers, they brought a number of personal artifacts with them. Whether it was extra pairs of nice fine clothing, definitely some travel fees, things like that, and some small personal treasures and trinkets as well that they all have basically packed in kind of like small chests that they brought with them into their private rooms.
They have money pouches?
What was that?
Did they have money pouches?
Yes, they do have money that are on them for travel expenses and whatnot. And you're able to kind of take it all and kind of pile it all together. And you see like literally just mounds of extra clothes. You didn't take the clothes off of anybody's backs, of course, but there's these
very dignifiedly.
Yeah, exactly. Piles of clothes and whatnot. And in addition, there are probably a total of 6 chests with various, again, artifacts inside. And so it basically combined total between all of the chests. There's probably somewhere around 182 pieces of Evercoin that are in there, along with a number of treasures that, if sold, they could probably equate to somewhere around 300 to 400 EC. That's what.
Are we just going to add that to the ship's treasury?
That's up to for you guys to decide.
Zill, I say that we split it. It was our idea. No one else is here. It was 182?
182.
Okay,
so let's each take 91.
Belbin.
say screw you to the other guys. Maybe you should show up for the session. And
What about this? Operating a ship costs a lot. We need to fund that somehow. So let's each take 50 and put the rest in the treasury.
here's the thing, though. We're going to be paying for it either way, whether it's not like the ship has its own bank account that it's operating on. We just killed all of our passengers.
Well, that's why we're giving it a bank account.
I'm assuming you guys are just talking amongst yourselves aside, away from everybody.
Yeah.
You guys have made your way towards the back of the cave, and you're just like whispering to each other.
Okay, because I want the money too. But I also don't want to fund the ship out of my own pocket if I don't have to.
We're going to end up doing it anyway. All right. We each take 60,
60?
leave, and then leave the ship 62. How about that?
Okay, you're going to leave the ship 62, and the rest of the treasures are actually going to go into the treasury. So if you want to, at port, sell those off in order to add them to the treasury or whatever, you can go ahead and put those. So basically a number of treasures and trinkets that will eventually equate to real money. But in the process, as you do that, as you begin to divide kind of the spoils between the two of you, I'm going to have each of you take 3 points of misery.
Oh,
3 points. That's nothing. Belbin's used to it.
pain. What is pain?
Oh, Belbin, I'm going to have you make 3 faith survival checks for me, separate ones, because you are now in deep into, well, not deep, but you're in Vice, so.
Ooh. I rolled a 12 and then 2 16s.
Okay.
So,
You do
natural
so.
16s. Wait, let me see what my faith score is.
Nat 16s? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's a 17 and 21 and 21.
Holy cow. You pocket all of these without feeling any kind of remorse, although the effects of them, basically the misery does weigh heavy, but you don't get drawn into any madness or anything in that. Zil, since you are still in, I'm assuming neutral, you don't have to make these checks, but you just went ahead and added 3 points of misery. So.
Yeah, we're at 9 and 14.
Yes. You're definitely starting to feel a little kind of like this like heaviness weighing you down, kind of on your soul a little bit.
Stress.
Great. So you guys were able to do that. What else do you want to go and investigate? As I had mentioned,
Well, we gotta bury the bodies.
Well, so you there's not really a place to bury these bodies, as it's pretty much completely stone in this cavern. You guys can talk about what to do with it. Luxalia, I think she had mentioned, Cole had mentioned at the end of last session that they wanted to do a sea burial or something.
Yeah, I think we can go look for a boat, see if there's a crashed boat that we can give them like a Vikings funeral.
Yeah, you probably, if you found one boat or did use kind of destroyed parts of the ship to be able to craft something, I'm sure Tolly would be able to do it. You guys could probably do something for all of the bodies to be able to do something like that.
Okay, before we head off looking for a boat, are you good with that, Zil?
Yeah. Do we have Thordane shoot the flaming arrow?
Yeah, he could do that.
Yeah.
Out into the distance as Aeldoom jumps out over and gobbles him. No, actually a good amount of time has passed since you had last seen Aeldoom. Chances are he's probably gone. Probably about a good 6 to 8 hours. It's still in the middle of the night, but still before dawn.
Before we head off, I want to take an improved health potion.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Who knows what
do I got?
Who knows what we're gonna find along the way?
Question.
I rolled a 15. That was a good roll.
Never mind. We're fine. Wait, what you have to? What do you? I thought the health potions just gave a set amount.
It does. It just gives a.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I have that said it restores 1d16 health points. For an improved health potion?
Well, that should be an improved healing herb. I think for an improved health potion,
it's 40.
40 hit points.
40? Okay, I don't want to do that then. I'm not that hurt. Reliable health potion does 20.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that then. Let me change this.
Let's see. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a simple healing potion.
Okay. And as you guys are doing this, and you've taken the time to be able to sit down, and within like the 6 to 8 hours, a decent amount has happened. You've been able to get everybody kind of up on their feet, and the repairs to the ship have begun to be made. But kind of towards the end of this, and all the bodies have been collected and all of that, Toli is actually, with the help of Yuki and Luxalia, started building kind of a boat with some of the driftwood that has been found here. It's pretty slapped together, makeshift, but yeah, they're going to be kind of busy doing this if you guys want to do any more kind of exploration of this cave.
I'm also going to. We have our own personal rooms, right?
Technically, yes. On board the
I'm
ship.
gonna leave a lot of stuff in my room.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Just go ahead and make note of whatever you are leaving.
Yeah. I don't have room. The Refinium Long Axe. We're just gonna put an asterisk next to everything in the room. Because I am overweight right now.
Yeah,
you look good.
That'll
you look
happen.
good, Zill. Don't let anyone tell you you're fat.
All my crafting supplies, I don't need any of that with me.
Oh man, yeah, that's probably true.
Which means I'm gonna take the ones out of glue.
Glue?
Glue. Yeah, he will give though. You go over to Gloof and he just like throws up whatever you need, or he eats whatever you need. What was that?
I think I have 9 iron ore. I don't remember how I wrote this down. Yeah. So all that sheds like 40 pounds.
Are you
I can
underweight
imagine
now?
you feel a lot lighter.
Yeah, I was only over by a little bit. So let's see, backpack weight. Oh gosh, I don't know how to note this best. What if I do this?
I might be able to create too, like on each of your guys' sheets, like a ship storage, if you like a combined storage that you guys can have your own little spaces to put things into, so it doesn't automatically add the weights to your.
I figured it out. Just put brackets around the weight, and it doesn't. The thing doesn't recognize it as a number, so it doesn't add it.
Sweet. Oh,
Don't do
I'm telling you, spreadsheets, guys. Working your way around the ins and outs of those, but sweet. And so you guys are able to be healed up, and you unload. This cavern, as you look around, it's odd because, like I had mentioned before, there's a small bioluminescent glow that's being shed from the rocks, almost as if the walls themselves are lined with like shimmering crystals. Upon further investigation, though, you see that you have no idea what the source of this is, other than perhaps some kind of algae that is sticking, because it is not within the rocks. It is basically being aligned with some kind of like slippery substance that's kind of growing. Or not growing, glowing. On the rocks. So it's been able to cast, and you guys, your eyes have easily adjusted, but as it is the middle of the night, you haven't been able to see a whole. Basically, your eyes have adjusted, but it's still pretty dim in here. So.
Okay. Zill, you want to head off?
Let's go.
Alrighty.
And
So as we go if we
Yes.
go deeper in, is it just kind of like one path that we just kind of have to follow along, or
So you're in a large room, kind of again, of probably about a good amount, like about three ships about your size could probably dock in this first area. So it's decently spacious, and it comes to kind of like a bottleneck close where only about one ship can leave to and from the caverns, and that's going to be about like 200 yards out. And so the water in kind of the little bay that is created in this area is about 200 yards to kind of this flat rock docking surface. And then, this area is probably about 50 to about like 250 feet of flat rock before it begins to start rising in kind of time-worn steps, but almost steps that rise up. There are a number of rocks that kind of block your sight, but you can see that it's kind of like a split staircase on either side that kind of go back into the rock. But it does go up further and farther. Yes, so you guys can go ahead and begin to walk up and investigate if you wish to do so.
I'll
Let's do
investigate.
it.
Yeah.
Sweet. And so you begin to climb up, and you see that this place looks untouched for quite a long time. But I'm going to have both of you make wisdom skill checks for me.
Let's see. Are my dice going to be nice to me today?
Non-natural 16.
9.
9. Zill, you're just kind of looking and taking it all in. Actually, noting the wow, I feel so much lighter as you begin to climb. But you do see that the one thing that for sure you have noticed is the steps that you're climbing seem completely man-made. There's no way that anything natural would have been able to create this. Belbin, as you continue to rise, you notice that there's a couple of engravings that line either side of the wall. It's almost kind of like a flowy ocean-like pattern as it begins to rise higher and higher and higher up the steps. Some of it, you can tell, has been kind of wiped flat with just basically time, and then it gets deeper and starts to climb as you make your way upwards, almost as if it's guiding you towards something.
Zil, do you see these caveman drawings over here? It's just like a
What?
squiggly line. Do you see these?
Oh, how did I miss those?
Well, they're kind of so it's a squiggly line, but one thing that you do notice upon further investigation are the cascading of waves. And so every now and then you see that there are basically waves that crash and fall down as it rises further and further up the wall.
Okay. Huh. Are these? Wait, hold on. Knowledge. No, Zil would not have had that thought.
Are these? No, it couldn't be. Never mind. It's not that important.
Zil is not as educated as Max is. And by that I mean he's not educated at all.
It happens.
Hard to remember to play him that way.
Do you guys want to still continue to rise?
Oh yeah, we're looking to get our
Like the
cardio.
tie.
You do so. You continue to walk up step by step, and it doesn't take you long before you reach kind of on this top platform. The rocks that kind of divide the two staircases are now below both of your height, and so you can see down into basically the broader room below. And there are these waves from each side of the walls. They continue, and they actually meet at one point, kind of dividing this back wall, because you make your way to the top, and it's just probably this 15-foot wall that rises completely up in front of you. And essentially it's basically combines it with just basically this flat wall and nothing else.
I go to the spot where they meet.
Okay, absolutely. You go to the spot where they meet and knock on it.
Yes.
Man, this feels like rock.
Some good quality rock.
It is very ancient, very old. I'm gonna have actually, as you look at this, both of you make knowledge checks for me,
Knowledge.
or focus. One of the two.
Yeah, I'm gonna go focus.
I'm going focus too. I've been rolling well tonight. Look at this.
15.
19.
15 and 19. Wow, that's impressive. You see as these basically lines converge and basically create kind of like this flush area. You look closer and inside basically the line, which is probably about like an inch, maybe two thick. You look inside and both of you can actually make out small etchings and engravings that are within this line.
Can we read it?
What languages do you guys know?
I know coded speech.
For some reason, I know 4 languages.
Wow.
And
But
who
what
said
are
you
they?
weren't educated?
Everspeech, Aldornian, Draken, and Voiden.
Okay. Okay.
Random
Zil
assortment.
Kentucky Foley.
All I know are Glyve
Freaks
encoded.
Sully out. It kind of freaks Zil out.
This is actually written in coded speech.
Booyah. What does it say, baby? Give it
And
to
so
me,
you
give it-
read, and it basically, like, you make your way all the way from the far left side of this wall, and it's basically a series of letters, kind of almost like symbols, that span the entire length of, basically, probably it goes to about 25 feet. And it says, as you begin to read, some of it's a little bit washed, but from what you can see, it says, "In the realm of shadows, I begin my tale, a dance with darkness where secrets unveil. At twilight's touch, I gently take my flight, embracing the transition between day and night. At the break of dawn, I mark the turning tide, as night surrenders and day starts to ride. A herald of light with colors ablaze, I paint the skies with the sun's golden rays. I'm the bridge of existence, both ends of the line, where realms converge, a moment so divine. Twilight and dawn, the last and first light, a joining of worlds in the day and night. In twilight's grasp, the veil becomes thin, the world of the living and the world of the dead within. A glimpse of the afterlife, a transient light, where spirits wander, hidden from daylight. At the dawn's arrival, life renews its grace, a resurrection of hopes in vibrant embrace. The realm of the living, where dreams take flight, a realm of opportunities shining so bright. What am I, the fleeting boundary I guard, where twilight and dawn shared a fragile regard? A passage of transition, where worlds entwine, a riddle of contrast, both mortal and divine."
It's beautiful. Any ideas, Il?
Did you tell this to me? Did you read this out to me?
Yeah, I was reading this out loud.
Okay. Is this a puzzle?
I mean, it said it was a riddle. I wish I was paying more attention for the first half. I thought it was just like a story or something like that.
It says, what am I? It divides life and death?
There's also a lot about like night and day.
Is it sleep?
You
People
say
kinda
sleep
look
out.
dead
You
when
say
they're
sleep
asleep.
out loud. Nothing happens.
People kind of look dead when they're asleep.
I can read it again if you guys want.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the realm of shadows, I begin my tale, a dance with darkness where secrets unveil. At the twilight's touch, I gently take my flight, embracing the transition between day and night. At the break of dawn, I mark the turning tide, as night surrenders and day starts to ride. A herald of light, the colors ablaze, I paint the skies with the sun's golden rays. I'm the bridge of existence, both ends of the line, where the realms converge, a moment so divine. Twilight and dawn, the last and first light, joining of worlds in day and night. In twilight's grasp, the veil becomes thin, the world of the living and the world of the dead within. A glimpse of the afterlife, a transient light, where spirits wander hidden from daylight. At dawn's arrival, life renews its grace, a resurrection of hope in vibrant embrace. The realm of the living, where dreams take flight, A realm of opportunities, shining so bright. What am I? The fleeting boundary I guard, where twilight and dawn shared fragile regard. A passage of transition where worlds entwine, a riddle of contrast, both mortal and divine.
Is it the moon?
You mention the moon, nothing happens.
Is it the sunset? Sunrise and sunset?
You say that
The
out loud,
horizon?
nothing happens.
The horizon. The sunlight comes from the horizon. It goes
And
below the horizon.
As Zill says this, you actually look down into basically the where everybody's kind of preparing the ships and everything, and you notice that the first light of the day has begun to peek up over the horizon, and with
Something's
that,
gonna happen.
slowly, the sun has begun to rise as the light basically cuts in half and begins to follow up exactly on the lines of the waves that make their way all the way up to the top. Eventually, it's able to intersect and come together, where you have this light that is essentially comes in from the bottom, and it divides kind of the dark as it begins to rise. As soon as it happens, and you mention the word horizon, the door itself begins to open.
I thought this was rock.
What are we gonna find in here?
This is some fancy rock.
But as it begins to open, just as soon as it begins to open and the sun begins to rise further up and further up, you notice it's starting to begin to close slowly as the cavern is beginning to be filled with natural sunlight.
All right,
I
Zill,
look
let's jump
Belvin.
in.
Do we do
We're
this?
going. I'm going. I don't know if you're doing it.
And so you do. At this moment, you see that as the cavern begins to be filled with the light of the sun, you are now, as these doors close behind you, completely stone. You turn around to see that there is no trace of a door or anything of such. I'm going to have both of you make... I'm going to have both of you go ahead and make wisdom skill checks for me.
Ooh, 13.
Ooh, nat 1.
13 and now
So
1.
much for rolling well.
Yeah, Belvin, you look inside and you see that the door, but you're not even concerned with this door at all as you begin to ascend upwards. The stairs continue in an upward direction as you begin to look like, whoa, this place is crazy. Zill, you look behind and you feel the wall as if like there's no markings. Your eyes are still adjusting, but the one thing that you mentioned, or that you kind of take note, is this door seems to only be open as the light fades and as the light basically comes onto the horizon. So twice a day it opens, just for a brief moment, as basically the darkening and the brightening
Is it still
of
in
the
the
day.
process of closing?
It's completely closed at this point.
Okay.
And Belvin's like a few flights ahead of Zilla at this point.
Yeah, basically rising up, and you can see that it's probably about couple hundred stairs to the top, but you see that it does level off into a room. And so Belbin's just kind of started making his way forward.
I know you said you were fat or overweight, but come on, Zill, keep up.
You know how much I'm currently carrying?
Zill,
Still a
I
lot.
actually think I want you to go first, just in case we hit anything.
I have 180 pounds right now. That's after leaving.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Wait, how much-
60 pounds behind.
How much can you carry?
225.
Without being encumbered, that's so
Yeah.
much weight.
Yeah, I can.
I need a bigger backpack.
Firefighting training.
I'm a
To
this
fat
right?
cat, man.
It says I can carry 270 pounds.
It doesn't help that.
Probably.
What?
Yeah, I can carry more than you, Zill. You old
What's your
man over
strength
here is
score?
putting you to shame.
What's your strength?
Ooh, yeah, that'd probably be it. 14.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
What's yours?
impressive.
12?
No.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't help that my armor is 60 pounds.
Yeah, that's some chunky armor. 1 second as I really concentrate as I refill my coffee.
Uh,
I don't want to spill.
so you want me to go first?
I would love that.
Did you like start up? I run to catch up, and then you just let me run right by you. They're coming down, me.
You
I'll just
begin.
use my stealth and blend in as you run past and come back out and
Let's see. Hold on.
start
Roll
following
your
you.
stealth.
Roll stealth.
Right.
Roll stealth.
Let me see. Oh, and it's dark. I have +1 in darkness, so.
Okay.
Oh, and it was a nat 16, baby. You don't see me at all.
Nope. I just run.
There's
right
no way.
Belvin, where'd you go? Belvin!
I'll just start stalking you.
Perfect. You begin to rise. You begin to ascend the shadow, basically long stair. It doesn't take too long as you pass by Belbin. But the air gets damper and actually saltier as you begin to ascend up higher and higher into essentially the core of like this rock passage. You finally reach the stairs terminus, and you are opened up into a pentagonal chamber. There's no sense of breezes or anything here. It's completely still. And you turn to the east. There's basically a pool of water that is gathered around a pair of double doors that are currently closed shut. And to the south, so you've come in from the north, and to the south, a pair of ornately sculptured stone doors block any further passage. And so the way that you guys actually ascended is you kind of ascended up one way, and then it splits to the right, and then you come back, making your way back up this direction. And so you came in from the south ascending the stairs, you turned around, and now you've gone up from the north going south up the stairs. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And so now you're in this room, you're in this basically pentagonal room, and there is a door to the left with water on the floor, and then there's a door completely straightforward that is stone, and it seems to have some kind of engravings on it.
All right, Zill, I'll finally reveal myself to you when we get to this point.
How do you want to reveal yourself?
I'll punch him in the back, but not like to do damage, but just like to freak him out. Think that maybe someone is trying to pull something on him.
How do you react?
What? I just turn around swinging.
Go ahead and roll an attack.
Does a 9 hit?
No, can I counter it?
Technically, if you want to spend art mana
No,
charges to count it.
I won't.
No, it's
duck
fine.
out of the way.
Yeah, you duck out of the way. You turn around and you
so
see
jumpy.
Belbin there.
Still.
Dark in here and it's scary.
It is dark, although you do notice there are no torches or anything that are here, but the walls are completely lit with the bioluminescent, almost like greenish blue, so you can see in here. It's dim light, but you can see from all around.
So Zill, it looks like we might need to choose a door. What were they? One had water in front of it, the other was...
Yeah, there's double doors that are closed, and there's water kind of coming out from the below it, and then there's a door directly ahead of you to the south, which is basically like a stone door that like arises and falls like this, but it has carvings on it essentially.
Can I try to read the carvings?
Sure. So you make your way up and kind of examine these carvings. I'm gonna have you make a focus check for me.
I like focus. 12.
So essentially, as you look, there's no words on this door, but it bears almost this kind of etched into the door, a scene of a stormy ocean where ships are being tossed around, basically like all over the place. And so you have ships kind of on the left side, ships on the right side, kind of foreground and frontground. But in the center of this, there seems to be almost like this, like one of the ships that are supposed to be there is completely missing, as there is basically a missing piece of a ship inside this stone door that should complete the basically the mural, but this piece of ship is not there.
What do you think, Zill? Should we split up? You go through one door, I'll go through another.
That's a terrible idea. We should not do that.
All right. Well, then which door do you want? To me, it seems like this door with all the markings on it is for like stranded people who kind of crash upon here. The other one, though, looks like it could lead to some water, and I don't know if you're good at swimming. I don't know if I'm good at swimming. Let me check.
No. Really?
Oh, I'm not. I'm fine swimming.
I'm okay not trying to swim.
So do we need to try to open this door?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
All right.
So both of you make your way to the southern door, and you examine for any kind of levers or anything of the kind. There's none to be found. You notice that the basic mechanism of this door is it's supposed to be lifted, but there's no real any ways except for maybe the engraving where this basically ship figure is, where you could even get any grasp to attempt to lift from it. If you want to attempt to lift it, feel free.
I wish we had Yuki here to donkey kick.
Donkey kick a rock wall. Oh, yeah.
She's done it before, and she's taken damage.
True. I'll give it a shot to lift.
All right, go ahead.
I'll assist you.
Cool. Go ahead and make a. I'm gonna have you make a straight up physical skill check, but this is gonna be with hope.
As I'm dropping dice. 19.
19. And so you begin to, with all of your might, your muscles begin to flex. And Belbin, you're there kind of like helping support. And you just, it's like every ounce of strength that you have. And there isn't even a budge in this thing. Almost as if it is locked into place. It's not just a lifting mechanism. There is some kind of a lock that is placed on this door. Like something is almost like pushing it downwards.
Do you have your axe, Zill, or did you leave that?
No, I brought it.
You want to just try to make a hole for us to go through? I know you love your
There
mining.
might be a way to try to unlock it. Don't you think?
Yeah, but the pickaxe is as good of a key as anything, right?
Maybe? Let's see. Does that thing have durability or?
Oh, I'm sure it does. You might not want to use your durability.
Where is it? Yeah, I only got 2 charges with it left.
You don't want to use it on something that won't give you any ore?
No, I do not.
All right, I guess we're going to have to find this key then.
Yep.
Can you describe the door again? It looks like there's a missing piece. Like there's a ship.
So basically there's this stormy sea and there's ships all over that are being kind of thrown asunder and tossed aside. But in the middle where a ship should be, there's a ship basically cut out where it should be.
So we need to find this ship rock shape. Ship-shaped rock. See any ship-shaped rocks on the way up, Zill?
I don't think so.
There's a puddle of water in front of the other door.
Yes.
Can Belbin look in there to see if he finds the ship?
Inside the door or inside the water?
Inside the water.
Yeah, you make your way over, and it's a very shallow puddle. And so you can tell that this is very stagnant water that has probably been here for quite a long time. But you see there's nothing deep enough for anything to really be peeking out of.
Okay. Is that door locked? Can Belbin try to open that door? Is that door locked too?
Yeah, if you want to try to open it, we'll see what happens.
I do. Yeah,
you do.
Belbin does.
Yeah, it opens freely.
Can I see through the door? Like just...
As you
That sort
peer
of thing?
around, you see that there is a small hallway. It's a little darker in this area, but it's probably a hallway that extends as far as your eyes can see. And then it kind of goes a little bit into darkness. There's not as much of the bioluminescent material that's all around. There's sparse pieces of it. But yeah, it is a little bit darker as you go, and you do notice that the floor is pretty wet. And mostly, one thing that you see, I'm going to have you make a focus skill check.
Okay.
Just him or both of us?
Well, he's the one peering through the door right now, so
Yeah. Okay.
14.
14. The way that this room is, well, at least the floor is it's relatively uneven compared to the rest of it, almost like there is a crack that is going up through the center of the floor that you can tell, and it's kind of sloped slightly down towards this room. And so this hallway rises on a very, very slight slope, but there's a giant crack in the middle of the floor that has extended most of the way down to, and you can see that there is water that has piled basically from this crack down kind of at the base. But it's not a ton of water. It's not like there's anything rushing down it. But it could explain why there's a reason why there's water down at this far end.
Zill, do you want to maybe just go in this door, see if the piece to that door is in this door, and
I guess we have to.
Okay.
is there any way I can peel some of the bioluminescent stuff off the wall and like carry it with me down this darker hallway?
If you want to, absolutely you can. It doesn't take any effort to do so as you begin to kind of peel it off and like almost like hold it like a ball in your hand.
Yeah. Does that do anything? Does that help us to see, would that help us to see, or is that just kind of like a fool's errand?
Yeah, it probably wouldn't do a whole lot because it doesn't like emit light per se. It just like very dimly glows, like less than a candle. But it kind of just illuminates kind of a little bit of like what's around, so you can see general shapes of things.
All right, never mind then.
But you do, I think you do have night vision though, Belbin, so it's not as valuable to you. You can still see, and like it's darker than the previous room, but what I was explaining before is like it's a relatively long hall, and so it goes beyond your line of sight, essentially in the dark. So you can still kind of see in here.
Okay. Zill, do you want to lead? Do you want me to lead since I can see?
Probably you lead.
Alrighty.
We've got
I'll
a
lead.
torch if we need it.
I wouldn't burn the torch yet. We'll see if we need it. So yeah, I guess we're gonna go down the hallway.
Okay, so you begin to go down the hallway. I'm gonna have you both make wisdom skill checks for me.
13.
13.
9.
What was that? A 9?
9.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, as you both continue to walk, you see that this room is very ornately carved on all sides. It's almost as if there is like years and years and years of work have been put into this wall. The floor itself is almost kind of like a tile pattern, basically tile inlaid in the stone, and it almost kind of like a mosaic floor as you begin to rise a little bit. Parts of it have been ruined, you can tell with time, and this big crack is very evident as you continue to walk a little bit upwards. But you do see along the walls that there are more of these basically carvings, these etchings in the wall that have been like done really well, and you can tell that actually paint has been put over the top of these paintings or carvings to make like almost like this 3D painting all the way up on either side of the wall.
Do we sense that people have been here recently, or like anything does it seem very old?
It seems ancient.
Okay.
Very
so we're not
ancient.
worried about running into into a beast's lair or anything. There's no
nothing that you've encountered up until this point would feel like that. And Zill, you're not getting any Peter tingles going either, so no voided energy at least.
Good to know.
Yes, and so with that, you do notice on either side that these, kind of starting from towards the door as you continue to make your way further and further down this hallway, You see that these images, these painted, carved images, depict a woman actually, and she looks to be of Elvish descent, and it basically shows like her on a ship, almost kind of like she is like some kind of like passenger on a ship or some kind of like sailor or whatever the case. And the ship begins to sail, and it goes through a number of images, such as like an initial embarkation, and then it goes to this part where there's like this storm, and then you can see on both sides across the way from each other. I'm gonna have you both make wisdom checks for me, as you kind of compare like across the way.
7.
5.
You notice that the two are very much linked. You're not quite sure exactly how they are linked, but you see that as you continue to walk up the hallway, you become to be embroiled in basically the space between what looks to be a ship fight. On your left, you see this elven woman on a ship with cannons firing. And on the right side of the wall, you see this large, huge, almost galleon-like ship firing back in the opposite direction. And you see that there are a number of individuals, specifically this guy with a huge, basically a large hat on board, and he has a saber raised up, like screaming as basically this fight is happening. You can see as you continue to walk up further, these are intertwined to a degree, but basically on the right side, it's started to become a little bit chipped and scraped away, so it's kind of hard to tell. But you can tell that the ship on the left, the one with this elf woman, looks to be in a state of complete sinking. Where she is basically there calling out. There's a number of people who have started to take to lifeboats, but you can see that she has pulled what looks to be a bow off of her back and is aiming it towards kind of the messed up image on the right. You continue up further, and you see that there is the giant ship. It's now back completely and basically all good. You can see it. But the ship itself is upon the ship. And so the paintings on the left have ended. The paintings on the right continue. And it's upon this ship. And you can see that there is a kind of this epic battle that's going on between some of the sailors in the small boats and trying to climb up onto this large ship. But also this elf girl and this what looks to be dude with a big hat. And they seem to be fighting kind of off and on. You go up a little bit further, and the ship is...
Hold on. Zill, who do you have your money on? 10-gallon hat boy or elven girl? How do you think this ends?
She seems more prominent, so I'm going to go with the elven girl.
No, you just think she's pretty.
Yeah, you see this fight kind of continue, and essentially a storm begins to take place, and a kind of whirlpool starts to basically show up in the middle of this combat. And you can see as you continue further, the ship begins to sink further and further and further in. There's a number of bodies that are being like basically consumed by this vortex that has appeared in the middle of this. And the ship itself, as you continue further, has begun to be swallowed up. We're at the very front of the ship. The two of them are fighting and kind of in this maelstrom of battle. And they seem to be, doing all that they can to stay part of the ship, like holding on while still kind of fighting. But then in the very last image, before you enter into a wider room, you see that there is the elf woman pulls out like her bow, the one that she had slung on her back, and she begins to aim an arrow kind of up in like an upward direction, and the arrow itself has almost kind of this radiant illuminescence that grows off of it as she fires it off, and that is the last thing that you see in this basically engraving portrait all the way up the hall. It opens up into basically this wider room, and you can see this crack actually meets with a giant crevasse that separates basically one part of the room from another part of the room. And so there's probably about a 10-foot basically just gap in the middle of this room. And on the far side, you can see that there is what looks to be a desk that's over there, and a pretty plain to begin with. And then also what looks to be kind of an empty doorway, no doors, down a hallway that goes down to the south. And so as you continue east, directly to the east, there's this essentially like this like desk, almost kind of like study nook area, and then to the right. But this is across a 10-foot crevasse.
Should we cross it?
I mean, I don't see why not. Do you think she was a pirate?
Do you think she was a pirate or he was a pirate?
Maybe they were both pirates.
I think you have a crush on her.
Shh. No one's no.
I think
you hear the mutterings of a mouse in disapproval.
Don't tell the Salia. I feel like she'll get mad at me. I don't know why. I just feel like she'll get mad at me.
I think you need to worry about Waffle right now.
Oh, Waffle's
Another.
You hear a squeak.
Quick.
Belbin, so the crevasse comes to a wall at some point, I'm guessing? Like, can I do a wall sprint?
So technically on one side, so the way that this room is set up is across there, basically this crevasse goes into what looks to be a wall on the right side, but on the left side, there's actually a large corridor, which this basically giant gap seems to have divided. So like this giant, where like there's like small kind of ledges that lead up to the north. But as it goes south, it does hit the wall, and there's a little bit of a gap that goes underneath the wall, but it kind of breaks a little bit to a solid wall. So yeah, you could actually Belbin very easily wall sprint, because that's just a passive trait that you have. So
Yeah, cool.
so you do so.
Zill?
Do wall sprint, and you easily make your way over to the other side.
I'll see you on the other side, Zill.
How far is it?
10-foot jump.
How far can I jump?
So this is going to be a skill check for you.
I do have a grappling hook if you want. If you want me to throw it on over to you and you can attach it to something.
What if you just like put the grappling hook on your belt before you run over, and I was holding the rope?
You may drag me down. That.
But, no, not like, you know what I mean. Not to drag you down, but for you to like just leave one end of the rope with me and you take the other end.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, I can do that. Is there anywhere for me to put the grappling hook?
You look around and perhaps on the desk, and then there's a few of like the mosaic tiles that you can tell have been just kind of chipped. You can try to find a place to lodge it down into the ground, but maybe one place is like where the hallway that goes south, kind of the corner there, you can attempt to attach it there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
So
it's good, and I give it a couple tugs.
Yeah, it's pretty firm.
Okay. I'm just gonna start run and try to jump, and while I'm in the air, like pull the slack. So
are
there's
you
like
like
little slack in case I miss.
How about just like tie it around yourself or something? No?
Yeah, we tie ourselves around myself too.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, you go ahead and jump. I'm going to have you make a dexterity skill check for me. And this is because you're wearing heavy armor. This is going to be at despair.
9.
You leap. And as you do, you slightly trip as you begin to jump over the side, and you just catch yourself like this, like basically by your elbows before you jump over. Your jump was basically you tripped, and so you kind of like fell with a small jump. You're grabbing onto the ledge. Fortunately, this grappling line is holding you. I'm going to have you make a physical skill check for me.
Can Belbin run over too and try to help him up?
With hope.
No man left behind, Zill.
Physical skill check. Nat 1.
With hope.
18.
Thank you for helping, Belbin.
Thank you, Alan.
Yes. Can't say that Belbin hasn't ever done anything for you. No, but
Yeah.
you essentially you're able to get him up. But as you begin to climb, Belbin, you look down into this pit, and this pit probably drops a good like 50 or 60 feet, and it kind of goes down the crack and meets kind of in this kind of shape, V shape, as it begins to widen towards the top. And so it seems like there's a bottom, but it seems like for whatever reason there's this giant crack that makes its way all the way down. But you're able to lift him up until you're on the other side of this crevice. And again, there's an office kind of study kind of area in one corner, and then there's a hallway that looks like it leads down to a bunch of rooms. Probably a total of 6, 7-ish rooms that are down that corridor.
Well, Belvin's a pretty nosy guy, so I guess he's gonna try to rummage through the desk first off.
Okay, absolutely. I'm gonna have you, as you do that, I'm gonna have you make a sleight of hand check.
Ooh.
Not sleight of hand check. I guess that would be a stealth check.
Ooh. And it's still dark, right?
It's still dark, so this technically you're not sneaking anywhere, so it's not like at an advantage. It's not used for that. It's used to like kind of like try to like look through and figure out like exactly what's going on without breaking or damaging or whatever. It's basically like a carefulness check.
Okay. 16, but not natural.
16. Yeah, you as you look through this, you find a number of things. The first thing that actually stands out to you is there is underneath the desk kind of like this small hook, and on it is a key ring. And it has a number of keys, a bunch of smaller ones, one that looks to be very ornate, kind of like a silver, and then another one is a brass one with a very small kind of like piece of gold inlaid in the handle. So yeah, but you found basically a key ring, and then you find a number of documents too. They look to be very old and is completely undisturbed. There's nothing really much worth taking in the desk, but you can tell based off of these writings that they seem to be some kind of holy text. They seem to be like accounts of basically stuff from like the Guardian Historia. Kind of notes taken off of the study of that.
Okay. Can I just take both of them, the keys and the documents?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So you go ahead and you pocket those, as it were.
Great.
Cool.
Zill, what are you doing? Are you going down the hall? Are you sticking with me?
I'm not getting too far. I'm just kind of poking my head down the hall like, anything down here? I can't see very well.
Yeah, it's still pretty dim. You can see actually towards the end of the hallway, like about like every 20 feet. It probably spans about 40 or 50 feet. But down the hallway, there's like on each side, there's basically 2 empty like sconces where torches can be put. There's no torch in them, and there's like no like they're not lit, obviously. It's just the same kind of dim light that you've been seeing this entire time. But there are doors, and these doors seem to be made of what look to be kind of wood, but with like metal fittings on them. So like kind of, yeah, banded doors essentially with locks. They have like locks and like handles and everything. So there's 4 or 6 doors on either side and 1 door at the very end.
Should we start at the end? Well, you
Sure.
found keys, right?
Yeah, I found the keys. What does the door in the end look like? Does it look any different from the other doors?
The door on the end, no, it looks exactly the same. But Belbin, as you creep into this area, you notice the crevice breaks through the wall to your right and begins to make its way across the middle of this corridor as well. Zill did not notice this, so if he would have stepped forward first, he would have fallen into the crevice again. So where the crevice went underneath the wall, it now has reemerged down the center of this, basically, just kind of cutting it in half. So it's another 10-foot jump, essentially.
Okay. Zill, don't walk into that crevice.
There's a crevice?
You don't see it? Look down. Put your hand on the ground.
There it is.
Yeah. Do you still have the rope attached to you, or did we ever take that off? Are we still tethered?
I probably took it off.
Okay, cool. Should we do the same thing? Same old shenanigan?
Yeah, I didn't die last time.
One thing that you notice, Belbin, is it actually is the same, is different from the other side, where basically this crevice goes. There's actually no wall on either side, and so they're basically like the ceiling. It like goes up a little bit into the ceiling, but two of these rooms, the first one on your right and the second one on your left, are actually completely open to like you can see inside because of the wall has been taken down, and there's a little bit of floor that are still on them, but the crevice makes its way kind of cutting the room in half, but also through these two rooms it has caved some of the floor and wall in.
Zilla, should we check out these ones first before we try to do a death jump and maybe die?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Right or left? Wait, can I see into both of them? Do I see?
You can see into the one on the right, and the one on the right, there isn't a whole lot. There's basically the remnants of what look to be kind of like an old decaying bed, but not much else. On the left side, the door is closed, and so you can't see in this room per se.
Zil, do you want to go through an open door or a closed door?
Let's start with the closed door.
Alrighty.
You approach the door. It is locked.
Another donkey kick opportunity. Zilla, can you try to break it down?
Don't you have keys?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, I'll try some. Can I inspect the lock first to make sure it's not... Nothing funky's gonna happen.
Make a stealth check for me.
15.
You examine. It seems to be just a kind of an ordinary keyhole.
Okay. Can I try all my keys?
You do. In the third key of the smaller key sets, it clicks and it opens.
Oh, great. Zill, ladies first.
Excuse you.
You enter. And this is a small-ish room, probably about a 6 foot by 8 foot room. There's a small bed that's inside and a kind of a wardrobe dresser type thing. You can tell as you investigate and kind of snoop around that this seems to be the kind of almost like dorm room of some kind of acolyte, some kind of holy person. And you look inside and there's like kind of moth-eaten robes and stuff that are inside of it. And you can tell like this is super duper old, but some kind of holy person seems to have lived, or some kind of person involved in the study of the Elamnic religion was part of in here.
Okay.
I'm going to have you both make focus skill checks for me.
12.
10.
You continuously snoop around, and you actually find a small chest underneath the bed. Inside the chest is 2 EC. Very, very old coins, but 2 EC nonetheless.
Each take one?
Yeah, let's do that. Worked well for us last time.
We're gonna get misery for this one.
Stealing from a holy person.
You do not gain points of misery for this.
Oh, thank goodness.
Should we check out the other room? The open door?
So the door's not open. There's just a crevice that like divides it from 10 feet away from you. So like the way that it kind of cut off the front half of the room and then it's kind of caved in. So you'd have to like jump over to see the other room. And as I had mentioned, it's basically like the remnants of a kind of a broken bed in the other room. If you want to jump over and see if there's anything in there, feel free. But
is there Anything else worth looking at in here?
Not really.
Okay.
Seems old and long abandoned. A lot of the stuff that maybe furniture items that seem maybe that they would be worth something have kind of begun to decay and mold, and yeah, not really worth.
In that other room that's open,
Mm-hmm.
would I be able to like lasso my grappling hook onto anything?
Perhaps. I'm gonna have you make a dexterity check in order to do that.
Alrighty. 12.
12. You throw your grappling hook, and it does catch. It catches on some kind of like basically the grain between like the mosaic flooring. It hooks. You pull it. It's a little sketchy, but it does survive a couple of pulls.
A little sketchy describes Belvin perfectly, so let's go for it.
All right, go ahead and make a dexterity check as you jump.
Ooh, 20.
20. Oh, yeah. You easily make it to the other side. As basically keeping this in hand, but because it wasn't up attached to anything, you don't get much help from that. But you almost just kind of broad jump this with the rope in your hand. And you investigate, you look around a little, and yeah, there's not really much of importance in this room.
Okay, so basically all that's left is...
But you can, if you wish to do so, wall sprint around toward the other side of the crevice, essentially. Now that there is wall that is there.
Sure, yeah, I'll definitely do that.
All right, so you make your way a little bit south of the crevice, where now you are standing on the other side of the room, when you see Zill on the northern end and you're on the southern end.
Right. Hey, Zill.
You look directly to your right, and you notice that one of these rooms, where the crevice kind of splits the room in half, it took out kind of like the front half of one room, and it took out the back half of this other room. And so you can see into the other room now. And this room's actually is a little bit different. It has a couple of candles that are inside of there. And the candles look not completely used, like they have been used. And the bed that is in there is still completely intact to a degree.
The candles aren't lit, though.
Candles are not lit, no.
Okay.
Jump the crevice to join you.
All right.
Do you want my grappling hook or anything before you?
Isn't it still secured, or did you unsecure it?
Well, it was secured inside a room on the side, but not over the crevice technically.
Yeah, you'd have to do a wall sprint after that, or another jump, unless you want to just do one jump.
Probably just one. Can you throw me the hook or the rope or something?
I can try.
You do successfully. It's a very short, especially if you're not hooking it to anything. It's just kind of like here.
You go for the jump. Well, you've got the other end of the rope.
Yeah, I'll just hold it for you.
Can I trust you?
I saved you before, right?
I'm going for it.
Make a dexterity check with despair.
With despair? 12.
12. You do make it. You jump the crevice, and you're able to make it like both feet intact on the other side. Yeah, and you see what Belbin sees off to your left as you face south, and then to your right you see that there is another room with a closed door.
Should we check out that room real quick? See if someone's been like living there.
I think so.
Right.
Which one?
The one that has the candles and the bed that's intact.
Yeah, so you're going to have to jump 10 feet over the crevice again in order to get back to that other side.
It's only
Let's go to the closed door.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before we fall in.
You do so. You make your way over to the closed door, and this one also is locked.
Can I try my keys?
Sure. You do so. The first key, the small key that you use, it unlocks the door.
Booyah.
And you're able to go inside. And the first thing that you notice is an intense smell coming from this room. I'm going to have both of you make fortitude survival checks for me.
No. Nat 1.
Whoa. 21.
21. Yeah, Belbin, you go in first, actually, and this smell completely overcomes you, and you actually have to back out of the room and you actually begin to retch on the floor. This is the smell of just absolute death. You're actually gonna take
Oh, nuts.
2 points of darkness damage.
Okay.
As you just... Zill, you make your way in, and you can smell, but you've smelled worse. Actually, this is something that used to smell a decent amount. In this room, you can actually see what looks to
Reminds
be...
me of home.
You can
Zill's
see what...
dumps smell worse.
what looks to be almost the mummified corpse of what looks to be acolyte on the bed. His clothes have been basically taken away with time, but this room itself, you can tell, has just been for centuries and centuries keeping this body. This acolyte seems to have died, from what you can tell, probably of starvation in their bed.
Is there like a sheet I can put over him, or?
Yeah, you go over to the small wardrobe that's there, and there's enough of like the robes that are there that you're able to cover over him to a degree. But yeah, it's kind of a sad thing to be able to see. But as you do approach, you see that he is holding inside of his arms what looks to be a book kind of crossed against his chest.
Steal it.
I'm gonna pick up the book.
You do.
Very carefully.
You can go ahead and add to your inventory you can write this down, a book of prayers. You do not recognize the language that it is written in either.
Uxalia will want this.
Do you want to continue to investigate the room, or do you want to just leave?
I'll take another gander.
I'm going to have you make a focus skill check, and this is going to be at despair.
Is that because I can't see?
Well, no, it's because of the overwhelming smell and the kind of nature of just what this room is.
So if I have despair, do I take the 4 or the 4?
Yeah, you take the 4.
With focus skill check, 7.
7. All right. You look and you kind of search through everything. There's a few kind of like decaying crates and stuff with, you can tell, what looks to be like old, just kind of rusted up trinkets with not a whole lot of value. But outside of that, you're not able to discern anything from that. So nothing useful to take, essentially.
Okay.
You leave. There are a couple more doors that you can investigate. There's the open one that's across the crevice on the other side to your guys' left as you face south. And then there's 3 rooms at the end. All 3 of them, doors are closed. The one straight ahead of you is closed. The one to your right, past this door that you guys just opened, is closed. And one to the left is closed, too.
We wanted to go the one straight ahead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the hall. Should we try that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Do I have a key for it?
You do have a key for it. The 4th key in is the one that opens this door. And so you hear a click and the door opens. And this room seems to actually be a storage room, not a basically one of these dorm rooms, as it were. And inside are a number of crates, a number of barrels, but there is essentially what looks to be kind of like this reliquary with this bottle inside of it, and it looks to be housing some kind of glowing liquid.
I'm curious.
Probably take that.
Can we tell what it is?
You look and you investigate a little bit. It's old. This looks actually pretty similar to you of something that you've seen in your past. This is an improved potion of healing.
Ooh. You want to split it, Zill?
So it's one bottle of it. So it comes with the bottle and everything. So
Yeah. Just kidding, because we were splitting everything else. So
oh yeah. Technically you could. It's got 3 charges, so you could be one here, one there.
I've got 2 empty flasks.
Yeah, I've got an empty flask. Do you want to
You can,
You said that was an improved.
Improved. Yep.
You want to take 1 or 2 charges of that, Zill. Well, first off, I say we take it.
I'll take one because I have a bottle of improved healing potion that I've used a charge of.
Okay. Yeah, I have one that I've used 2 charges of, so that'd work good.
So we can both leave with a full bottle of 3 charges.
Yeah.
Great.
Sweet. And an empty bottle, so you can go ahead and put that in your inventory too. So,
Ooh, yeah.
Which is really good. It's kind of like Zelda. Bottles are worth a lot. So you go ahead and take that. I'm gonna have both of you either make a Wisdom or Focus skill check, whichever one you want to take.
Ooh, 14.
14. Okay.
15.
15. Yeah, there's a decent number of things in value, number of trinkets, no like gems or anything, but you're able to get a number of treasures that equal 50 EC from this room.
Should we just add 50 EC or...
they're old. Yeah, you can just add that to your EC.
Okay.
So 50 EC, not each, just total. So,
25, 25.
If you want to split that. So, you leave out this room, and then there is a door as you face north, the door to your left, and the door to your right.
Left?
Yeah, I was thinking left too.
Great.
Okay. You do so. You open this door as I turn on my fan because it's getting really hot in here. You open this door, and yeah, it's the third key that's in that is able to click this one open. You go inside, and you see it is another one of these rooms. I'm gonna have you make a either Wisdom or Focus skill check for me.
9.
5.
As you search around, Belbin, you're able to find a small envelope tucked inside the side table desk, and this has 6 EC in it.
Alrighty. Is that everything that's in the room? It's just another dorm room, basically?
Yeah, just another dorm room. There's no bodies or anything in here, but yeah, just a dorm.
Okay. Should we go to the next one?
Yep.
The one across the hall. You make your way over, and you click it open. As you look in, what do you guys want to do?
Can I peer my head in? Just another dorm room?
It's another dorm room, but basically the front half of it, where the crevasse makes its way through, has taken out the back half of this room, and so it's half a room that is there. I'm going to have you make a Focus skill check for me, Belbin.
Okay. 18.
18. The floor is incredibly unstable. If you take any foot in, this could possibly cave in.
Hey, Zill, let's not go into this room.
Okay.
It's a little unstable.
Good to know. Good to know.
Unless you want to hold this grappling hook, and I'll tie myself around on the other side.
No, I think it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you peer in. There's like kind of like a small bed, and then the wardrobe that's on the closest wall facing. But there's like the floor itself seems to be cracked and almost kind of like brittle. Yeah.
Okay. Have we checked out all the rooms besides the one?
That's all of the rooms besides the one that was across the way. And actually, as you looked through this room, you could actually see that room across the way too, because the crevice kind of broke the wall down between them.
Okay.
So this is some kind of monastery?
Yeah, that's a good guess. I was thinking, yeah, like just some sort of training center of some sort. Should we check out the last room?
No reason not to.
All right.
All right, so you can go ahead and attempt to leap across if you wish to do so, as there's no walls that are connecting it from this side.
Zilt, should I go first and then...
We're just going to go for it.
Both of us?
Feeling confident.
Both of us at the same time?
Well, one at a time, but
Okay. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Dexterity check. Oh, this is gonna be actually at despair too because of your heavy armor. So
no, I had a nat 16. That'll be a 10.
10. You do just to make it over. You're able to kind of catch your feet and you look around, kind of on the side, and yeah, you turn around, calling over to Belbin that you did it.
We're good.
Great.
Good.
Hold this. I'm gonna throw you the grappling hook so you can hold it while I jump, just in case.
Okay.
I grab it.
Go ahead and make your dexterity check for me.
12.
12. You leap, no problem. You're able to steady yourself. And you're in this small room. Probably about a third of it has been caved down, but the floor is definitely in a better shape than it was in that last room that you're in. And you look around. I'm going to have you make focus or wisdom skill checks, whichever one.
17.
12.
You kind of rifle through whatever is in this room, and you see that there is what looks to be some kind of underneath one of the pillows. This pillow is really gross, really moldy, but you see what looks to be some kind of like the top half of like a ripped leather strip. Almost looks like a bookmark. There is a symbol that is on the top of it that yeah, it's really weird. It's just kind of like half of a bookmark, and there's a kind of a strange symbol on the top, but it's made of leather.
Can we read it? Or
so it's not like
a
words.
letter,
It's just like
a
symbol.
Picture thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we'll take it.
Sweet. You go ahead and you take that, and you make your way back out. You can kind of hug the wall and move around to try to get on the north side, back north up through. As with the way that this whole place is laid out, you remember that there was this big crevice that went down a hallway, and there were some ledges, so you can still continue north through the ledges if you wish to do so.
Well, we still haven't found our ship piece.
No.
So I guess we kind of have to go up that way, huh?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You make your way north into kind of that study office room. And you see where this giant crevice has kind of made its way down the hall. It goes into the northeastern or northwestern kind of direction. And there are a number of kind of small ledges where you can attempt to shimmy across. As you move up kind of that hallway, because it extends for probably about a good probably 20-ish feet before you see basically a landing on the other side. You can go ahead and make your way up, but it does the landing is where the hall continues as this crevice goes again northeast, so it goes back into the side of the wall. Make dexterity skill checks for me as you walk across.
12.
17.
17. Oh yeah, you both easily kind of just like wiggle across. Making your way onto the other side of the hall, you look down where the crack goes, and it just goes into the side of the wall, and it just looks dark on the other side. Even for you, Belbin, it just looks dark. And the floor, as far as the gap in the floor, seems consistent as far as the depth goes. But you're able to make yourself onto basically the back end of the hallway to where you look up ahead, and probably about 15 feet up ahead, it basically dog legs left. But about 5 feet ahead of you, there is a door to the right.
I say we check out the door.
You approach this door, and this door is much finer than the other ones. They're not just this wood with this metal banding that has been slapped together. You can tell that there's actually like gold filigree that has been etched onto the metal parts of this, and the door seems to have been lacquered to the point where it looks sturdy and it looks like it's held up to the time.
Well, I've got a pretty little key that I bet will fit in there.
And as you go through each of the keys, you do notice, yes, absolutely, there is essentially a key that does fit this, and it's one of the last of the small keys that does fit into this.
Can I stealthily unlock the door and peek in?
Make a stealth check for me.
Ooh, 5.
5. You do open this door, but it does creak as you open it. As it swings through. You peek inside. You look around. There's no one in here. But this room does seem significantly larger than the other room. In fact, there is actually what looks to be a private office that is kind of in a semicircle at the back of the room, where there's like the normal bed and everything, and everything is kind of still moth-eaten and has decayed to time. But you notice that there's like this large mahogany desk that sits kind of at the north end of this room for that. Nobody's in here, though.
I'll look through the desk.
All right, you go over to the desk. I am going to have you make a stealth check for me as you look through the items.
Ooh, much better. 15.
15. So you see there is a very old diary. That's the very first thing that's sitting directly on, and it has a page open, but it seems to be ripped. But the rest of the book seems to be in relatively good condition. You can go ahead and pocket that and add that to your inventory as the Master's Diary.
Okay. Can I read a page before putting it in? See if there's any dirty little secrets?
You cannot read it.
Okay.
That's why I asked the languages you knew before. So yeah, you're unable to read it. But you are able to pocket. In addition to that, you find what looks to be a small little note. This is written in Everspeech, and so you can actually read this. It's a description. It's like a small kind of piece of paper with a description talking about a like directions, almost as like someone like that was sitting at this desk was like writing out directions to somebody, but it's kind of like halfway done. But it talks about essentially a hidden door that exists in the basically southeast corner of the main living quarters of this area, which living quarters doesn't seem to ring a bell. This is probably not a place that you visited before. But there's a secret door that is written there on the note, so you go ahead and you take that, and it kind of has a small, tiny little diagram map to show. And then finally, you're able to find what looks to be inside one of the desks. It is a locked, actually, desk, but as you pull a little bit harder, the lock breaks, chipping off a piece of the upper part of the desk. You see that there is a key that's actually inside of this as well.
Ooh, I'm taking the key.
All right. This key is really small key. Really small key, kind of like one of these like small little like doodads.
Okay, I'll keister that one then.
No,
The memories of old.
Keys.
I'm gonna have the two of you make focus skill checks for me, or wisdom, whichever one you want.
10.
12.
10 and 12. And so you look along this room, and there isn't a whole lot out of the ordinary. You can tell whoever was here actually left and departed this room in an orderly fashion compared to maybe some of the other rooms. Almost as if like they didn't leave in any kind of rush. It just was left as is. But who got the 12? Was that Zill?
Zill.
You examine the bed, and you examine up on the wall, and you can see a very old tapestry that is there that is eaten away. And you see, as one of the eaten away parts of the tapestry, a small little corner beneath it of what potentially could be metal. You remove the tapestry to reveal what looks to be a small vault in the wall.
Does it have
It has a key. It has a keyhole. A very small keyhole.
Balvin, have you found any more keys? I found a thing.
Zill, yeah, let me just pull it out real quick.
I'm not
covered in a little
Pull
bit
it out
of
and-
poo. You stick it in.
Put it down right in Zill's hand. Here you go,
No,
buddy.
nope, nope.
I guess we're not opening it then.
Was there a bed in here? No, I think a little bit of the tapestry. I pick it up with the corner of the tapestry.
Yeah, you're able to open it, and it does click. You can tell that this is very old, as it kind of takes you a little bit to, as you just hear a heavy click, and this vault swings open. And what reveals to you is a small vault with a basically a book that's inside of there, a small little chest as well, and then also a sack that is in there. Like the sack is probably about this big.
I'm just gonna grab all three of the things and
Go ahead and add to your inventory Mana Tome. This is one of those things that during a holiday you can study and learn an art hidden within it. So it's got a secret art that you could potentially learn inside. You also got a bag of pearls that has 150 EC worth of pearls inside. It's very small, like not ones that you could like put into like items or like earrings, like very, very small, delicate pearls. And then additionally in the chest, 176 EC.
Ooh.
so 176 plus 150.
Mm-hmm.
What?
No, add to your inventory the pearls, not necessarily the
Bag
price.
of pearls.
Yeah, bag of pearls, and then you could say worth 150 EC.
So do you want to split the 176?
Yeah. $150 EC for the pearls.
Mm-hmm. 150. Yep.
So 176 BDE.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we're getting rich, man.
Treasure
know.
hunting, the dungeons, I tell ya.
All right. Well, I got this little note about a secret door. Should we go check that out?
Let's do it.
Cool. We're gonna follow the little chicken scratch map.
So it doesn't give you like a map of the entire place, just of like a specific room. So you have no idea like where this room is, but when you do have a room, you'll be able to recognize it based off of the map. So when you guys do get to that room, I'll let you know, just because.
And we haven't been in that room yet.
You have not been in that room.
Okay.
So you make your way out into the hall, where you turn kind of northwards, and you see that that dog legs left. As you continue down that hall, not too long, probably about 15 feet, it opens to a very serene area. But I'm going to have you both make wisdom or focus skill checks for me.
You just know someone's gonna pop out at some point. 18.
18.
11.
11. Both of you initially notice that the crack has reemerged, dividing this room partially. And you can see that it's taken out the back half of this room, but you can see where there is a hallway, and this gap is a little bit larger. It's about a 15-foot gap this time. But it breaks into the back side of the wall. But directly to your right, Belbin, you're able to notice that there it looks to be what is a small coffin of stone.
Zilly, you see the small coffin right here?
Smallish. I mean, it's not like this huge, grandiose thing. It's just like kind of like a small human-sized coffin.
Should we open it up?
Can we get to it?
Yeah, it's just here, right? So it's not like basically the room kind of
across the
broke.
15 foot.
Yeah, it's not across. It's on your side.
Well, let's open it.
Um,
Well, is there any writing on it or anything?
directly on top is a essentially like carved into it in Everspeech is Neliarch, the savior of the seas.
Is this one of the people who was in the murals?
You have no way of knowing. It's a
All right,
question you think to yourself.
let's wake up Neliark, I say.
So as you begin to open this tomb coffin, I'm going to have you both make physical skill check. Well, who's going to be leading this physical skill check?
I can.
Okay. And I'm assuming assisted by Zill?
Yep.
Hope.
No, I'm just gonna sit back, cheer him on.
So no hope?
Oh, with hope, with hope. Oh, is he sitting back? Is he just cheering on?
Yeah, Zill, were you serious?
No.
Okay.
I kind of figured. So yeah, with hope, with hope.
Good. Okay, so it was a nat 16 with hope. It was not that without hope.
Awesome.
And you said it was physical? I mean, it's a total of like 23.
Yeah, you easily push it aside, and laying inside of this crypt is a perfectly preserved woman. She looks to be elvish, but as she becomes exposed to the air, her skin immediately begins to start shriveling up, and she becomes a mummified corpse inside the tomb.
Ooh. Did Zill see her? He loved her.
I'm assuming Zill was there helping you, so he did see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he'd be so delighted.
Did you hear that, Zill?
No.
So you guys opened up the tomb, the coffin, and what was revealed is this perfectly preserved blonde elf. And as she becomes exposed to the air, she immediately becomes to almost mummify and decay right in front of your eyes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm not sure what to do with that.
I'm going to have both of you take 3 points of misery.
No.
I am so done.
3, I'm going to have you make 3 faith survival checks for me, Belvin.
Alrighty. I don't think this will go as well as last time. Oof. Yes. 11, nat 1, and 15.
Okay. I am, in the meantime, going to roll from the table to see what effects that you have
Okay.
from this.
Gotta stop disturbing the dead.
No.
And so until you're able to complete a holiday phase, Belbin, for the remainder of that, all of your weapon attacks are going to be made at a -2.
Oh.
Okay.
Not -2 to the roll, like a -2 modifier. So you can technically still roll crits at this point, but...
Okay.
So, yes. So weapon attacks are going to be a -2.
Okay.
Additionally, as basically you see this, and it brings you back to this whole idea of humanity, and that, like, while you have this time in this world, you see that it can instantly leave you at a moment's notice. This actually does weigh heavy on your heart, Belbin. And how many points of misery are you at for your?
I've been counting up. I think you count down though, right?
No. From the misery, you're counting up. So it
Okay,
goes.
great.
It goes up
Okay.
to your maximum, whatever that is.
Okay, great.
So it's whatever.
7 of 11.
7 of 11. Yeah, this has really begun to sink into you. Actually, so much to the point where you have your personality has completely retreated inside of yourself, and you kind of started to develop this sense of hopelessness that exists within you. Yeah, this affected you a lot. Seeing this.
Dang.
Oh
All
my.
right. Well, this sucks. What are we even doing here, Zill?
That's a great question. Apparently robbing graves. It's not what I was planning this morning.
Well, all right. I guess. Should we
Well,
keep
we know
going?
who
Should we go back to the others?
We know she was the elf in the. Is there the piece of wood thing we're looking for in her tomb?
No. So there's nothing other than just basically now this corpse, essentially, in the tube.
I just say sorry and push the lid back.
Okay, you do so. By the way, Zil, are you now into Vice?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
12 of 14.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, so you push it back. You both look and you see at the other end of basically this crevice, the long hallway continues onward, and it continues actually up into the point where, Belbin, you can see that there is a locked door on the other side. Well, not locked, but a closed door on the other side. And then directly to the left, there is a open door to your left across the crevice.
Zilbelman's gonna need some motivation to check out a door, I think.
No. So basically, the way that this works is you can feel yourself kind of succumbing to despair. It doesn't take you away from like any of your motivations where you're like you can still like go and like do stuff, but like spiritually you are just super drained. And so it's just like the things like when it comes to like questions of morality, they are kind of just like you it's kind of more of just like I don't really have an opinion on things, but I'm willing to do what people are willing to do. Does that make sense?
Okay, sure. Okay.
So, you can still like have like your own thoughts, be like, hey, I want to do this, but it's nothing more beyond like I'm curious.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Zil, what door do you want to check out?
The next closest one?
Sure.
All right, so you're going to have to cross this 15-foot crevasse. There are no walls on either side.
This is getting sketchier. Grappling hook? Can I try the grappling hook trick?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make a dexterity check as you hurl the grappling hook over.
12.
12. You do so. The grappling hook catches onto just basically some of the floor tiles. And yeah, you're able to essentially make your jump. If you want to make this 15-foot jump, it's going to be a dexterity check with hope with the grappling hook.
Okay.
Attached. It's very firmly attached. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
You said dexterity?
Dexterity.
19.
Yeah, you easily just almost broad jump this. You make your way over to the other side. Zil, you're on the other side.
I'm gonna grab the rope for help.
This is going to be at normal because of the heavy armor you're wearing.
8.
You leap, and you immediately begin to fall into the crevice, not quite making it to the other side. You hold. I'm going to have you actually make a physical skill check as you hold the rope as you begin this fall.
9.
You just have enough strength to hold on to this rope as you dangle probably a good 15 feet into the hole.
That's my climbing speed.
Is it? So you're able to just
Yeah,
one physical skill check for me as you do so.
Non-natural 16.
Yep, you easily climb up and you make your way kind of up to the top.
We gotta stop doing this.
Dude, you were so casual the last time. You had no fear.
Well, I'm fat. I got a lot of crap with me.
Hey, you're overweight.
I'm
not fat.
Just big boned. And so anyways, you make your way into this room or into this hallway, continue. And so there's a door to your left and then one probably about 30 feet down in front of you.
It's up to you, Zil.
Start with the closest one and work our way down, probably.
Okay.
You turn to the left, and immediately you're brought into this room, which looks to be an ancient library. There are a number of books that are all on the shelves, and basically there are no gaps. Every single book seems to be accounted for, with the exception of one. The shape of this room is it's kind of L-shaped a little bit, and so on the outer wall there's kind of this L, and then in the middle there's a bookshelf that's kind of in the shape of an L. You can see at the far end of this room, kind of at the bottom of the L, there is a desk with basically a snuffed out candle that is there, with a book and a few pieces of paper that are on top of this desk.
Zil, try to put your book of prayers into the empty bookcase slot.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
See if anything happens.
Do that.
Okay. You do so. You wait for a moment. Nothing happens.
All right, take it back out.
All right. Bellman wants to go to the desk.
Okay. You make your way over to the desk, and you see a book completely opened on this, open to a page, and actually you recognize that there is half a bookmark sticking out of the top of this.
Does it match the other bookmark?
It matches it perfectly.
Ooh. Can I read that bookmark in the book?
Yeah, so it's like kind of in the page. It's not exactly open to the place that the bookmark is. It's probably about a good 20 or 30 pages away from it, but you can go ahead and flip it open to where that bookmark is. And essentially, what this is talking about is this is a book about the events of Neliarch, the elf. And this is a chapter called The Celestial Arrow. You read, and essentially the story that is written inside is Neliarch was an elven woman that existed in the First Age. She sailed the seas in Everlast towards the end of the First Age. She sailed the seas in Everlast and basically was hunting down pirates or ne'er-do-wells and all that stuff. And she eventually actually came into contact with a divine spirit by the name of Altuliant, who charged her with the task of bringing down essentially basically this pirate lord. And the pirate lord said to be his name was Silva Nocturne, and he was the captain of a ship called the Dreadnought. And he was doing the evil wills of the void, and he was out not only pillaging but spreading basically the voided religion everywhere that he was going, turning people away from Alamnia. And so he was doing so, and so she was tasked to do this, and she was actually gifted a bow by this spiritual figure, Altuliant. And essentially what it said was she basically took this bow and went to hunt him down, and when she eventually found him, there was this giant battle that went down between the two ships, and when all hope was lost, she called upon the blessing of Alamnia, to which it filled this bow, and it filled the arrow that she had knocked with celestial light, and she pierced it through basically this pirate, Silva Nocturne, and there was with a great stroke of lightning, sunk the ship, the Dreadnought, into basically the ocean. And rumor has it that to this day, in Silver Nocturne, the arrow of the celestial arrow is still stuck within his chest. But him and the Dreadnought have sunk to the bottom of the sea.
Cool.
Additionally, underneath you see a bunch of papers that are there. You find what looks to be the map of this entire place. So you're able to take a look at that and pull it out. Let me go ahead and change screens here. We're still here, everybody, but I'm changing screens. So
where did we go? Oh my goodness! Ah! Dane is asking if this is the same bow that we have the string for.
That is a good question. That's something that Luxalia can think about.
You mean Yuki?
Yeah, sorry, Yuki. And Luxalia, I guess, too. Everybody can. So this is essentially the map is supposed to be rotated, so it's laying on the side so it fits in. But you guys are currently right here at number 11. You have made it. This was your entrance area. You made your way down here, back through, all the way through this whole area, into the room up here with the treasure vault. And then this was the tomb. You jumped across and you've made your way down into 11 at this point.
Okay.
But these are the schematics of this entire place.
Well, on to 12.
Yeah, why not?
So you make your way out and you go to number 12 and you see that there is a door in there that is actually kind of swung ajar. Do you wish to enter or check anything first? What do you want to do?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Zill, you can go first.
Great, thank you.
You do, and you notice that it immediately drops down probably about a good 7 or 8 inches. You see in this kind of darkening room out in front of you a statue that rises. It almost looks like the statue of a mermaid standing up kind of erect facing the north. So it is facing this direction. So this is north. And she seems to be holding something, and then there is an inscription down at the statue's base. The ground is completely filled with water all the way up to the door brim, like basically the door step. You take a look to your left, and there is a door, and it looks to be closed as well. By the way, the water is murky, so you have no idea how deep it actually is.
Raven, is there any, like, rocks of good size on the ground?
If you make your way back kind of to the crevice, yes, you can pick up the rock and come back and throw it. You drop it, and it makes a splash. You don't hear a clack or anything, but from what you can tell, it's probably not super deep.
Well, so we
Let me
just...
see.
Alvin, are you good at swimming?
I'm decent. I want to throw something in there, though.
We just did.
I must have been distracted. Nothing happened?
A big kerplunk.
Yeah, but that was just a rock, right?
Yeah.
What about if we put some, like, bait in there or something like that?
Oh, I see. See if the waters are infested.
Yeah, see if there's anything in there that's smart enough to not eat a rock, but... I do have some meat.
Rations, you mean, or just regular meat?
No, it just says meat. It can go a week without spoiling, so it's probably not good anymore. Can I throw one of those in there?
Yeah, feel free. You go ahead and you chuck a piece of meat out, and it kind of just floats on the surface. You wait for a moment, nothing happens. It just is a piece of meat floating around.
All right, I can dive in. I'll dive in.
Okay, so you jump in. Are you like diving head first? What's the deal with this?
No, it's like as if you were to get into like a swimming pool, like in the deep end, how you're like holding onto the ledge and like kind of lowering yourself in, something like that.
And so you do, and you prepare yourself, and you step, and the water goes up to about your shin.
Okay.
That's it. That's how deep it is.
That's how deep it is.
Great. I'm jumping in.
Cannonball.
By the way, this was the library that you guys were in.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
So you jump in.
Oh, good.
Both of you enter from this doorway. you see that it is murky and it is pretty gross, but as you walk around, it doesn't take you long, probably about 10 minutes, to discover that there are small little daises that are surrounding it in all directions. But there's nothing out of the ordinary as far as this room. But you have noticed, actually, I'm going to have you both make focus or wisdom skill checks.
5.
15.
15. Belbin, scattered throughout this room, outside of that, you've noticed and you can pick up what look to be small tridents. They're not real. They don't look like weapons. They almost look decorative. But they are scattered throughout in the water. You take, during that 10 minutes as you walk around, you notice that there are a total of 7 tridents total.
Zill, check out all my tridents that I just found.
Ooh.
Should I keister them?
That sounds painful.
I'm pretty sure you would skewer yourself to death.
Maybe you should.
Hey. Probably take some points of misery for that as well. Let me turn my mouse on real quick. These are the
Small little daises in the middle.
dice.
And they raise probably about 4 inches above from the ground, and so they're still submerged beneath the water's surface, but they are raised.
Is there a place that a trident would fit?
On each of these, as you examine them, there are 3 holes in the top of each of these.
Do we stick the tridents in?
Upside down, right?
Is there anything
like a fork kind of a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything different about each one of these?
They all look the same.
Is there anything? What does the statue look like?
It is a mermaid, and she is facing north. As you examine, the things that are immediately evident is you can see that she is holding something, and there is an inscription written on the base.
Can we read the inscription?
Yes. It says in common, "If you seek to open the door, look where it is safe to moor." I'm going to have both of you make knowledge skill checks for me.
Safe to moor. Ooh, nat 16.
Ooh. That was a really good skill check.
17.
17.
Total.
10.
10. You're thinking about directions, and both of you are able to discern that each of these daises are set up in a specific direction. You look at what this mermaid is holding, and it is a compass. And you can see that the compass is facing north. It's pointing north.
So should we put them in all but the north one?
Sure, let's try it.
So you do. You spend some time putting each trident in all of these except the north one. And as you do so, boom! This door shuts closed.
Ah, crap.
Dang.
But nothing else happens.
Can you read the inscription one more time?
If you seek to open the door, look where it is safe to moor. Belbin, you think close and hard about this. You know that this word moor is a place to be able to dock. Like to dock like a ship, to dock like a boat. You think back to your experiences at sea. Coming into the basically the cave, you can't quite remember exactly which direction it was facing, but it is probably the one place, the one direction where you were able to make your way inward. I've given you a couple hints throughout. I've used a lot of direction language specifically.
Wait a minute.
In this dungeon. So,
Wait a minute. Okay. Question.
Okay.
Is the sun oriented the same way in Everlast as in Earth?
It is not.
I
But
say we got to try the south
we
one
would
because when we were
know.
going up the staircase,
We would know where how
the
it's oriented,
staircase
right?
the staircases were going north and south. We just
Um,
tried the north one.
but wouldn't we know where the sun rises and sets just from being alive long enough?
Yeah, you would. So north to south is where the sun
So the
rises and sets. The sun
set
rises from
south.
the south and sets in the north.
So we moored in the south because the sun rose into the cavern for
Yeah,
the door, right?
yeah.
So should we leave the south one empty?
Let's try the south.
So you move and you insert all of the tridents into each of the different directional pillars, and immediately both doors open up.
Oof. Okay. Let's go through the other door then, huh? Unless you want to do something else in here.
The sun rises in the south. I feel like that'll come back up at some point. We can go in the door.
Cool.
Sweet. So the two of you make your way through down a very, very long hallway. This hallway looks old. Very, very, very old. And until eventually you reach an end where it immediately dog legs to your guys' right. You jump up into a room which looks to be some kind of altar, chapel, prayer room.
Can Belvin make a quick prayer?
Belbin can make a quick prayer if he wishes to do so. What is his prayer like?
It's after opening that tomb, it's to not waste the time he has left in Everlast, and that to pray for the rest of his, I don't know, life, for the rest of the adventure, that he that it isn't just gone in a flash.
Mm.
The prayer book that
I'm gonna have you
found.
make a faith survival check for me. Zil.
Okay.
No, piety skill check. Zil. Oh, this is gonna be that's gonna be with despair, by the way. Zil.
The prayer book that I found. It's in a language I don't know, but do I recognize the characters?
Not really. I mean, a few of them look somewhat familiar. But you can see that this is a language that's most likely the Alomnic tongue.
Okay. So, I couldn't even attempt to pronounce it.
No.
Well,
I rolled a 6.
6. Okay. You spend your time and give yourself a little prayer for what it is worth. I made note of that. Okay.
Great.
Zil is also going to make a prayer.
Okay.
Well, what is he going to say? He's not the most... Actually, he's got a pretty good faith score. He's faithful.
Yeah, so piety skill check for me.
He's just not the most... He's faithful, but he's not the most formed. 15. So he's just going to be... Well... We're trying our best to serve you. We're trying to fight the void. Please help us and guide us.
You close your eyes for a moment. And there's this desire for you to move forward, but something is specifically catching your attention down towards the south. So down towards, where's my mouse? This direction.
Towards it.
You do so, and it is basically a door that is open.
I'm gonna go through it.
and it becomes a small hallway. Belbin, do you wish to follow, or are you still
Yeah,
making a prayer?
no, I'll follow.
Okay. It's a small hallway that leads down to basically a staircase that goes down, but at the bottom of the staircase, there is a door that is currently locked.
I'm also gonna say before we leave, thank you for not letting Azaldoom kill us.
I love it. I
Um,
love it.
can I try one of my keys?
Sure. So you've used most of the room keys that are there, which you have at this point have told the difference. They're the smaller keys. There are two other keys that potentially could be of use. With being the one with that was kind of the fancy decorated one with kind of like the gold in it. And then there was also a kind of another like silver key that was there. So one of the two. Which one do you want to try?
Let's try silver.
Silver. This keyhole, it doesn't even fit the key.
How about the other one then?
It slides in perfectly and it unlocks with a click.
Mm.
You're revealed to this room it's almost like a fountain chamber to a degree. There's kind of this small bowl standing on top of a pedestal, and it looks to be hosting some kind of liquid watery substance. You approach, and I'm going to have both of you make elemental skill checks for me.
4.
My element sucks. 10.
10. Zill, this just looks like normal water to you.
Mm.
Belbin, on the other hand, you've realized that this water seems to be somewhat special, and you actually get the impression that it could be very helpful.
Can I
Connie
Take that-
told us to roll a d16.
Oh, let's see if you guys get hope. Let me go ahead. Because if you roll the D16, this is a new thing, and I get a 16, a natural 16, everybody in the party gets hope. So
Ooh.
I got an 11.
Ah.
11.
Can I take that bottle that we had, the vial?
The
That we emptied out?
bottle or vial?
Well, what did we empty out from that?
You
There's a
emptied it
bottle.
out from a bottle.
Let's fill up that bottle with some of this water.
Okay, you do so. Wonderful. And so you go ahead and you jar it up, and you look at it. It looks like water. Doesn't look so special.
Is there
But-
anything left? Any of the liquid left over?
Yeah,
in the water?
there's still a decent amount left. If anything, the water level didn't even dip at
Oh
all.
man,
Can
we've been
Zill
doing
take
a
a-
lot of jumping, walk. I'm
It's
thirsty.
it's like
I am
yeah, a
too.
small bowl. Yeah, you go ahead and you stick your head in and you drink. Tastes like water. Tastes like really clean water.
Ooh, this stuff's good.
Can I fill my water skin up with this water?
Oh yeah, if you wish so.
Okay, I'll do
Cool.
that.
You do it. The water level does not change either.
Do I even have a water skin?
I think we all have water skins.
I don't know where it went.
In your inventory, mine at least is in the adventuring gear.
I have meat in my inventory, and I have no idea how long it's been there.
That's the meat that I threw into the water.
I don't know if for some reason I don't have a water skin.
You have been dying of thirst then.
Take another big drink.
There's nothing else really in the room to look at though besides this.
Nope, not
So
really.
is the water not getting less no matter how much we drink out of it?
No
Is
matter
that
how
what's
much you drink. Yep.
happening? Huh.
Do I feel less miserable when I drink it?
It's freaking good water, so I would say yeah. Very refreshing. You feel less like a raisin.
Is there anything else in this room?
Nope, it's just this.
Balbin, I think we found infinite water.
Is this the Fountain of Youth?
You
Do I
look.
need to
You examine
stay here?
yourself. How do I look? Is it look? As good as ever.
Same.
I feel like everyone would still be alive in here if it was the Fountain of Youth. I'm going to leave this place. Are you going to leave this place?
We should remember so we could bring back our water supply things for the ship.
Yeah, good point. We can do that.
So you guys depart back up into the kind of chapel room. And there is a open hallway. There's no door actually attached here up to your, I guess, technically west. Do you wish
Let's
to
go.
continue down the hall?
Yep.
It's the only way I know.
And you do so. And you make your way into a rather strange room. There is, the room is split with almost kind of like these little, like sewer gutters, but it has water in all of them. And the water actually seems to be radiating and glowing. It ventures around the room, and in this room you can see that there is a number of wooden furniture that is scattered throughout. Again, very old, and so it's kind of starting to break down and whatnot. But this looks to be a living quarter, and is actually a room that looks familiar from the piece of paper you found in this room up at the very top. I guess bottom on your guys' screen. Number 8. From the looks of it, there's a hidden entrance in this room, and you have figured it out clearly to be down here. It is behind basically a large, basically bookcase that is there. And then there's a door down to your left or right.
Start with the hidden one?
I was thinking the other way. I was thinking start with the other one. We got the map. That room looks small.
We can start with the other one.
All right, let's start with the other one. Get that one over with.
Yeah, you make your way up towards this room, and you open it up to reveal a large set of luxurious kitchenware. Not kitchen, like kitchenware and like silver, like cutlery, all that kind of stuff. But this is definitely the kitchens where food and everything is prepared. You look around, any traces of food have either just been like dust. That doesn't really exist. It's not even like it's past the point where like food is molded. It's disgusting. But you do make your way over towards the far end, and sitting up upon a crate is a model ship in a jar.
Ooh. I think we should grab that model ship.
Go for it.
All right, I'll grab it. And then let me see. Should we grab something for Remy? Any of this cookware good for Remy?
Is any of it still good?
Like the knives and stuff?
All of it seems to be in pristine condition.
I say I'll try to grab as much as I can for
All right.
Remy.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm going to say that you get like a complete set of like cooking knives and pans and pots and that kind of stuff.
Booyah.
Go ahead and add cooking pots and pans to your inventory. That's going to be probably a total of 15 pounds worth of stuff.
Okay.
Cool. That's about all of interest that you were able to find in this room down here.
Secret room time?
Yep.
You make your way down to the secret room, and you get the tapestry or the bookcase, and you move it aside, and you see that there's a hallway that extends. It's a very dark, very far down in the direction. And do you guys wish to follow?
Yes.
Yeah.
You do so. Doesn't take you too long before you come to another door. This one doesn't seem to have any door handles, but it looks completely sealed, as if no mechanisms on this side. It's sealed from the other side.
What do you think, Zil?
I just knock on
You knock. It's a stone door. Actually, very similar to the first door that you saw when you came in, just no engravings.
it. Horizon.
You wait for a moment, but nothing happens.
This one only gonna open twice a day too?
That's a good question.
Is there another way around into the room looking at this map?
Is there?
Oh, Balvin, what do you think? Where did we come in from?
This area. So you came in through here, you went down the east, and you examined all this stuff up here. You came up to the office where you found the key, the little treasure room. The tomb was here, the library was here, the trident room was here.
Yeah.
Made your way down all the way through.
If we go backwards, Belbin, it looks like this connects to where we're trying to go.
There's no place to put a key.
No place to put a key. It's a completely flush surface.
Belvin, can I see your water skin?
Yeah, I'll give you my water skin.
I splash the door.
Nothing happens.
Zil, use splash.
It was unaffected.
There's got to be something. Is this? Hold on. Is this?
Is there any engravings like in the tunnel or way in or anything?
This is very much a secret passage. Not a whole lot of work was put into it. Yeah.
That note that I have, does it say anything more on it, or is it just the picture with showing the secret passage?
Just the picture showing the secret passage.
Is there no arrow that says like you have to go this way? It's a one way or something?
Nope. Basically, the note just shows you like this room and then like a circle around like this wall.
Should we just try pushing it?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a who's leading this push?
I can lead the push.
Okay. Go ahead and make a physical skill check, and this is going to be with hope.
Physical. Let me get back there. 18.
To you, you seem to be pushing against what looks to be a wall. Nothing is happening. Nothing is budging.
That ship that we took out of the kitchen, did that look like the ship that would fit into the other door way at the very beginning?
That was a thought that came to your head.
Maybe we do just go all the way back and then check this out. So, let me see if I get this straight, Kyle.
Okay.
Fate Weaver.
Yes.
Is this room... We haven't been in this room yet.
No, you have not.
Okay.
The stone door that you're talking about is right here.
Okay.
So you entered
Gotcha.
in here, and then you made your way all the way down and around here.
I gotcha. Okay. Zill, I think we might need to go all the way back. What do you
Well,
think?
probably. Do we want to refill your water before we go?
How much water did you pour out?
I mean, I just splashed a little bit.
I think I'll be fine.
All right, so you guys make your way back. We're not going to narrate all of that, but you eventually do find, you have your map, you're not getting lost, you found your way back to this main kind of entrance room.
We make some good jumps.
You do make some good jumps, and you're taking your time with it too, and so you're able to, be okay. But yeah, you do make your way into this opening room, and you are revealed to see that the ship, and actually down this hallway as well. From what you read in the library, this is the exact depiction of everything that happened within that room, all the way up before what's his face, Silva was defeated. So,
Does the ship in a bottle fit the door?
well, the ship's in a bottle, so
All right, let's smash the bottle.
I take the bottle. I take my hand axe. Let's see.
make a stealth check for me. It's not a disadvantage because it's not about like being stealthy. So
Yeah, and I'm trying like to hit like near the edge, so if I like miss or something, I don't hit the ship.
Go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Four.
The entire thing just shatters. Belbin, I'm gonna have you make an agility survival check for me.
Oh no, Zill. I'm gonna push you into a crevasse. Agility? You said agility?
Agility, yeah.
Ooh, 22.
22. It begins to fall out of Zill's basically hands, and you are able to swoop down and catch the ship just as it falls out. This ship looks to be the exact shape and size to fit inside this.
All right, Zill, you're not rolling anything like ever again. You got us in so much trouble. All right, Belvin will.
What did you do to my poor dice?
Dane, who are you giving hope to?
Can he actually give it? He has unlimited channel points.
Since he is not here, yes.
Great. Well, it's good this time, but I will. I will probably need it in about 5 minutes.
You stick this ship into the hole, and immediately it actually becomes like flush as you fit it in. It's a wooden ship, but as you do so, you feel like almost kind of like this like clicking, like heavy feeling, like you like unlocked a door, and then the very slowly this door lifts, and from what you can smell, that actually a breeze almost comes and it hits you as and it's just like this smell of kind of like salty water, but almost like very stagnant air, as if like this air hasn't been released for a very, very long time. And you see a staircase that descends downwards.
Down the stairs, down the stairs, down the stairs.
Yeah, let's do it. You
do so. Until you find yourself in an open room. Directly on this, basically there's a water that splits the room in half, and it's still water. It's clear though, and you can see that it descends probably about 15 feet on either side, and it goes underneath this bridge. In the middle of the bridge, there is a pedestal, and the pedestal has a clam shell, and opened. Basically, this clam is opened, and there is this large pearl sitting in the middle of this clam. And as you look further on, you can see that the staircase continues to descend downwards.
Let's not touch
it.
I think so too. We'll get that on the way out.
We have learned anything. You should not touch that pearl.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna ignore the pearl for right now. That's too.
It is taking all the self-control of the both of us.
It's got a trap written all over it.
Okay, you continue downwards.
Let's go down. Yeah.
Eyeing it on the way out, like no.
You continue downwards down these stairs, and you open up into a large room. Definitely the biggest that you've seen. The floor itself is actually almost kind of this emerald green, with some pools of water that are scattered throughout. Up above, there is a walkway, actually. No way from what you can tell up there, but these pillars rise about 15 feet holding this walkway up above you. And at the far end, you can see what looks to be some kind of altar. And on top of the altar, there is this very intricate looking, almost kind of like yin and yang shaped bowl. And it is surrounded by a glowing blue light.
How do we feel in the room? Like, does it feel at peace, or do we feel like a nasty presence? Do we feel normal?
Zill doesn't sense any void in energy. It feels pretty similar to everything else that you've experienced.
Okay. Let's go in the room.
You make your way about 10 feet into the room and you look around. This room actually is much brighter than all the other rooms, surprisingly. The bioluminescent material is all over scattered throughout, and so it glows everything this kind of bluish green hue. But as you continue to walk further and further in, you see that this altar is actually glowing. There's a kind of blue mist that surrounds it.
I'll approach the altar.
You get within 10 feet of the altar, and you can immediately feel this kind of overwhelming sense of, well, you're not quite sure what it is. I'm going to have you make a wisdom skill check for me.
8.
8.
Not
like-
one.
I feel like I'm gonna burn to death from being in such a holy presence.
Goodness.
This is something. It's as you continue to walk forward into this, you are kind of overcome by this miasma, and you can physically feel it. And to the point, Belbin, it actually has begun to cause you pain as you walk further and further into it. I'm going to have you make a faith survival check. Zill, this does not have the same effect, but you can feel that there's almost kind of like this odd heaviness in the air.
7.
7. You take 14 points of light damage as you step forward up to this altar. You look into the altar and you see that there is, again, this kind of yin and yang bowl that is on top of this.
I am going to take out the bag of pearls.
Okay.
And take one tiny pearl out and drop it into the bowl.
You drop it into the bowl and you hear kind of like the roll as it goes to the sides. There is kind of like this split down the middle, where you drop it into one side and it just kind of rolls around, but nothing happens.
I drop another one into the other side.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
I'm gonna have both of you make faith survival checks for me.
I need to get out of here. I'm being purified too heavily. 18.
16, not natural.
18. Both of you are able to shrug it off to a degree. However, Belbin, you take 4 points of light damage as you continue to be in here. Zill, this still doesn't seem to affect you yet, but you can feel it's heavy, and you almost feel like there's kind of like this something that is clinging to your skin, and you're starting to feel overly warm as the longer you spend in this light.
Should we?
I want to get out of here. I'm taking some good damage.
We go around the side. Do we see that? I mean, on the map there's a hallway, but do we notice that?
Yeah, you would probably notice that.
Could I stand over here, kind of away?
Yeah, you leave the miasma, and you no longer feel the effects of it. Although there's
Is
still
there-
kind of like a tingling from like the clingingness on, but you're not
Is there
in
any like
danger.
writing on the altar thing or table or whatever it is?
Go ahead and make a wisdom or focus skill check, whichever one.
10.
10. You look around and you see nothing from this side. You begin to make your way towards the back, and you see an inscription kind of on the base of this altar at the back. It says, "In order to open within, a sacrifice with one with a pure heart must be given."
A sacrifice of one with a pure heart.
With a pure heart.
All right, Zill, get on the altar. I'll kill you. My heart's not pure.
No.
Can we look back here then? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, let's go back there and then.
Go back this area. See what's.
Mhm.
You
Certainly, a sacrifice will be provided.
You wander on back there.
Okay,
and
Abraham.
And you see that this is a almost kind of like a vesting sacristy. There is a bunch of robes on either side, but I'm going to have you make a wisdom or focus skill check, both of you.
6.
6.
10.
10. You look around, you open this cabinet over here, and you're not able to discern much of really anything. Some of these are pretty damaged and worn. But the one thing, Belbin, that you notice is these, actually, you've witnessed in the past people wearing these. And it was actually the very same insignia that was on the bookmark. This is the logo, and it just now came to you. Now things are starting to click. These are robes of the Order of Amondalius. They are an ancient order that existed from the very beginning to basically protect the Alumnic faith.
Wait a minute. Oh. They're the ones who are protecting the Earth Pillar.
They are.
They're not the ones who can speak Void.
No.
Right.
From what you can tell, Belbin, this doesn't seem to be a desecrated place. In fact, this seems to be an incredibly holy place.
So me taking damage, is that taking misery off my soul? Being close to that?
Because you are so miserable, it's taking damage upon you, you hellish creature.
Can we go in? Sorry, you go.
I'm gonna go back to the altar.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put the Book of Prayers on it.
Like in the bowl or like on the side or?
We're gonna start on the side.
Okay. I'm gonna have you make a
And just
faith
be
survival check as you approach
What?
the altar. My faith survival check as the miasma is starting to begin to cling to you again.
12.
12. You take 1 point of light damage as you approach.
Ouch.
Are you staying back, Belbin?
Oh yeah, I'm not going in there.
You place the book on the altar. Nothing happens.
I'm gonna move it on top of the bowl.
Nothing happens. I'm gonna have you make another faith survival check for me.
14.
14. You're fine.
Balvin, throw me your water skin.
I'll throw it to you.
I
do
pour
so.
that into the...
And as it goes through the miasma, it almost kind of slows down a little bit. Maybe it's just your eyes, but it's almost like it's fighting through kind of this heavy air as you're able to catch it. You take it and you pour it into the bowl. Immediately, one side begins to shimmer.
Balvin, it's shimmering. What do I do?
Pour it in. Did you pour it in both sides of the yin and
I
yang?
poured some in both.
Mm-hmm. One side begins to shimmer. And immediately, Zill, only you can hear a voice begin to speak within your brain, within your head. Who approaches? Are you asking upon Altuliant?
We can certainly use some help.
What is it that you seek?
We're trying to protect the pillars, and we were moored here by Azeldum. We barely escaped with our crew. We lost a lot along the way.
This still does not answer the question. What do you require of me?
Could you get us to... We're going to Shaolin, though? No.
Fashion Fae.
Fashion Fae. I'm like, where were we going? Could you help get us to Fashion Fae safely?
Ah, a long way from home, I see. Still half an ocean away. What is it that you seek in Fashion Fae that you could require my assistance with?
Fashion Fae's the water pillar, right?
Fashion Fae is the holder of the guy who King Ferrand. He holds the key to the water pillar.
We're trying to protect the water pillar. Well, all the pillars, but Fashion Fae is where we're going to protect the water pillar. Pillars are under distress. We're not really sure what. We're trying to figure that out. Do you know about the pillars?
The pillars are ancient creations, where Alamnia said to has touched all. It is from these pillars that mana, the living spirit, circulates through this earth. I, Altuliant, am a servant of Alamnia.
We're trying to serve him too. We're not always the best at it.
Fate has brought you here for a reason. Millennia it's been since any living creature has come into my presence. Long has this shrine been hidden. Is it now that the powers within are required? Make a faith survival check for me.
Ooh, gosh. Oh, yay. 21.
I see your heart is pure. I see.
Watch out, Zill. You're about to be sacrificed.
I see. Your goals are just. Young one, you who approaches the Shrine of Light, do you have what it takes to wield the treasure hidden within?
What kind of treasure is it? I prefer axes.
A treasure that will dispel the darkness. A treasure that once wielded will turn away false light.
Well, it seems as things go on, I've been inexplicably armed with tools against the darkness.
You, young
One
one,
would be helpful.
I see your path takes you towards light. And as this is happening, and as he is speaking, Belbin, you can actually see A figure has begun to appear in front, hovering up above the altar. Zill is unable to see it. It is a radiant creature with glistening wings and golden armor. You can't hear anything, but you can see as Zill is kind of talking, and the way that when he's talking, I might add, his voice is almost muffled beyond this miasma. You are unable to hear the words that are being said, Belvin. But you do see that this figure has begun to appear up above the altar.
Let me see.
Your path, young one, leads you towards light. Do not be so deceived. Where there is light, there is dark. And that darkness it takes on a false light. A light which promises to lead, but only destroys. What I offer is but part of this true light that can dispel that which is false. A light that dispels true darkness. A light that dispels deception.
Can I also ask you a question that feels related?
Indeed.
Recently, I've been able to understand and speak the tongue of the void, but it's not corrupting me like I've been told it would. Do you know I've been very confused and slightly afraid. Do you know what's going on there?
Touched by the power of a rune. That's all he says.
Okay. Well, back to this thing. Hold on, I'm right.
Can Belbin walk in to the miasma?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You begin to walk in as it begins to encompass you again. I'm going to have you make a faith survival check for me.
Alrighty. Ooh, nat 16.
Nat 16. Ooh. You begin to feel almost this overwhelming sense of, for you, it just feels like energy that has begun to cling. And as you do, you can immediately hear everything as if for the first time in a long time, your ears are truly opened. You no longer see the celestial being in front of you, but you hear in your, basically you hear, Who approaches the altar of Alamnia?
Belbin of Roku?
Yeah, Zill, you notice this. You whose heart has turned to darkness. You who wishes to be cleansed of it. Tell me, Belbin of Roku, what are your desires of me?
Oof. It's a big question. Can I ask for anything?
I cannot read your heart. I can only... You're a curious one. One that has been veiled by shadow. One who has seemed to have lost his way. Belbin of Roku. What brings you to the Shrine of Light?
We were just exploring this. We're a little bit shipwrecked. Thought we would walk up a staircase. Didn't know where it would lead. The sun rose, we jumped through a door, the door closed behind us, then we're kind of stuck here until we figure out our way out.
One shadowed by darkness, yet fate brings you to the altar of light. Show me your devotion. Make a piety skill check for me.
Piety +0, baby. 4.
4. The darkness has yet almost overcome. Your will hangs on the balance of a knife. Belbin of Roku. Which side shall you fall? On the side of light, or be lost in eternal darkness?
I'd like to choose light.
We shall see. You take 16 points of light damage as this figure begins to manifest itself in front of you.
Oof.
This armored angelic creature, completely decked out in basically the finest regalia, so much so that it blinds you immediately. I can see within your mind, but I cannot see your thoughts. Though one who is shrouded by dark, you who seeks the light have a long journey to make. Belbin of Roku, do you make an oath to serve Alomnia? Do you make an oath through the payment of blood?
I will make an oath. Let me see what I got. I'll take one of my kunai. That seems appropriate.
Stop where you're at. The pain you have endured shall suffice. And immediately one of the other sides of the bowl begins to be flooded with a dark miasmic presence. Inside of the bowl where the water is on one side, the light begins to overcome. Belbin, I'm going to have you make one last faith survival check for me.
Ooh, that's a good one to have the last. 17?
The battle of faith has begun. And it seems your intentions are pure. Zil, Belbin, I reveal to you a weapon of the heavens. And essentially the altar begins to lift high up. And sitting below inside of this, basically trapped inside this altar, is a whitish, almost bark-like branch. It is a great bow. When darkness faces you, when you are overcome by that which is false, and when the light cannot pierce that darkness, use this. Find the arrow of light, and with this, the darkness shall be dispelled.
We need to find a ship with a dude at the bottom of the ocean.
Fate has brought you here. Perhaps fate will guide you there.
I sure hope. May Alomnia guide us.
Indeed. Take what is within, and do so with a pure heart, and pure intention. Only then will the power of Alamnia's light serve you in your darkest moments. Do you take it?
Yes.
I'm not touching it.
I'm going to pick it up.
You do. You pick up this great bow. It's large. It probably stands just a couple inches taller than you, Zil. It's a large bow. But
Keys for that bad boy.
it does seem to be a very familiar, as this looks to be the exact bow that is held in the carvings. Belbin, Zil, may Alamnia guide you. And immediately the coffin, well, not coffin, the altar closes up and the miasma dissipates.
Holy crap.
I just took so much damage.
Yeah, Belbin, what are you sitting at right now?
42. I think that's lower than when I came in to this session. All right, well, that was fun.
And there's where we're going to actually end our session for today.
Right. Not lose any misery for encountering a guardian.
Not so much. But thank you for joining. It was a fun little side quest going through and seeing kind of how you guys dealt with a lot of this. I know it was a little bit of a longer session, but I do appreciate you guys for sticking with us and hanging around. But yeah, I'm glad. It seemed like a lot of people were in the basically chat today. So really happy with that. Hopefully you can all enjoy. And next week when everybody is back, we can continuously go forward with the adventures of Eclaas. It'll be good. What are you guys' thoughts on today's session? Quickly before we leave.
Hold on one sec. It's not next week, right? It's still...
No, sorry, not next week. Our next session isn't until June. So our next session is going to be June 10th. June 10th my time, June 9th, those on the west side.
And Cole and I are going to be missing because it's my bachelor party. Sorry.
Enjoy that. That'll be good. We'll be enduring this. But next time we will be joined again with Belbin and with Yuki and perhaps a new member of the group. So yeah, it's really exciting. Some good stuff going forward. So you found two pieces of this celestial artifact: the celestial bowstring and the celestial bow, the celestial great bow. And so you just need to find the arrow to complete the set.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, cool stuff. You gave your rose to Cole. Unexpected. Great plot twist. True that. That brings me back way to the beginnings of Coalforge Great Max. Good stuff. But without further ado, your guys' thoughts on the session.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I was kind of on the edge of my seat.
Short
door.
form dungeon. In this game, dungeons can be played in many lengths. This one, I guess there was a potential for some combat encounters, but yeah, you didn't happen upon them, so that was good. I don't know if time would have allowed for that to happen, but it ended kind of perfectly. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys were able to do this. And again, one thing that's really interesting about this is kind of a nice, fun kind of key moment, but it's one of those things that the encounter with the Zaeldoom wasn't for naught. A lot of good rules led to this point. A lot of bad rules also led to this point. Without here's the thing. Without a Zaeldoom, they probably wouldn't have been chased here, but this is one of those things on the rule table of one of kind of the secret islands that you could have uncovered while traveling as an encounter. So,
Cool.
yeah, I mean, just good things all around, I guess. With a lot of dead people in the Alamnia's breath, but yeah, it'll be good. I look forward to seeing what everybody else, what everyone else thinks of this when they come back. But yeah, it'll be good. Sweet. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you all for watching, and we'll be back next week. This upcoming week, we have normal streams. Mondays, I'll be streaming. Tuesdays, Dane will be streaming. Wednesdays, we're continuing with my morning streams, and then Adventures in Middle Earth. Thursdays, Dane will be streaming, and then Friday, Cold Forge Great Max. Are you guys back? What's going on?
Cole won't be back, so I'm gonna take a shot at a solo stream. We've had the Cold Forged, we've had the Cold Forged Great Axe. Now we'll just have the Great Axe.
I like it.
And I'm gonna be jumping on the Zelda bandwagon, playing Breath of the Wild, not Tears of the Kingdom. And guys, I have never played this game before.
Oh, I hope you enjoy it. I'm glad you're playing
So
this
we're
before Tears of the Kingdom, actually.
I just got Cole's copy today. He's letting me borrow it, and I'm not gonna touch it till Friday. So we're gonna jump in blind.
Freaking enjoy it. That game was such a treat. And honestly, I was talking to Dane a little bit beforehand, before we started playing Tears of the Kingdom. And I'm like, yeah, this game very much feels like a sequel to Tears of the Kingdom. And it expands upon the mechanics. Breath of the Wild. It expands upon the mechanics. So I feel like if you played Tears of the Kingdom first, you might be disappointed with Breath of the Wild because it's an expansion upon Breath of the Wild. So I'm glad that you're playing Breath of the Wild first. It should be awesome. Yes, I'm very much looking forward to it too, Hikari. But yeah, that's exciting. Good stuff.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
You guys can laugh at my pitiful Zelda skills because it's been a long time since I played a Zelda game.
It's a very different feel than your traditional Zelda game, though. So it'll be great. I enjoy it so much. I look forward to watching.
Right.
And then finally, we have a sponsor here at Fantasy Forge Studios, DaiSNACKi. They are a Japanese sweets and luxury treats company based here. It's a family-based business here in Tokyo, Japan. And they sell exactly what they tell you, Japanese treats and luxury sweets, or Japanese sweets, luxury treats. Yeah, that. They have a number of boxes that are out right now, including their seasonal box, which is the matcha box. And it's only here for a limited time until June 14th. So make sure you put your orders in. If you do order a box from them, make sure to mention that Forge sent you during checkout. And then you will get tickets towards our eventual stream when we do our giveaway. Once we hit the number of referrals, we will have a big stream where we could do a giveaway where there'll be all kinds of raffle tickets that you guys can earn from purchasing from them. Also, being a follower and a part of the stream and entering on stream, you can get tickets. And then if you're a subscriber, you also get tickets. And so they're going to be giving away a free omakase box, which is basically their random assortments box. And so big thanks to them as well. And by helping them out, you help us out every time you say Fantasy Forge sent you. So yeah, it's really exciting, good stuff. But until then, we will go ahead and leave you guys off with a wonderful legendary weapon and a big adieu. Have a good one at your bachelor's party, Max, and Cole as well if he is watching this. And we will see you guys again this week and with all of us together in June. So have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. And may Alumnia guide each and every one of you. Bye.